Darling.
Oh. Hi, Nicky.
I'm sorry I left before you did.
Maybe you went downtown too soon.
Maybe. I just got very, very upset when you mentioned Nikki Smith. She seems to be a very irrelevant part of my life right now, and it upset me.
Yes, I noticed that.
Would you like some tea? It's fresh.
Thank you.
You know, I ran into Cord downstairs in the Banner. In fact, he gave me a lift home, and I was very, very grateful for the chance to talk to him. It's the first time I've talked to him, of course, since he found out about the two of you. I must say he's a very bright, sensitive man, and I think you should be very proud to have him as a son.
Well, he's a very nice fellow.
Yeah, I think in time he will definitely come to accept you as his father.
I certainly hope so.
What's the matter with you? What are you thinking about?
Jessica, honey, it's, you know, the kidnapping. Who's got her, how they're taking care of her, and is she still all right? I felt that I needed to talk with someone, so I stopped off at Larry's on the way home and had a chat with him. You know, about the suspects that the police are grilling and so on.
Go on.
Well, we all agree that our feelings and whatever are not the issue here. Jessica is finding her safely and immediately.
Yes, of course it is.
Nothing else matters except that. And so we all felt that if we're going to be responsible about this, then we have to literally investigate all possibilities. And one possibility is that Nikki Smith took the baby.
Cord, where have you been? I called the Banner and they said you left ages ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to worry you like that. I dropped Vicky off over at Landfair after work tonight. Then I stopped down in the lobby and I saw my ma.
Your mom?
Yeah.
How is she?
She's unreasonable. That's how she is, Tina. I can't believe it. She agrees with Clint. She thinks maybe Nikki Smith had something to do with the kidnapping of Jessica. Do you believe that?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I can believe it. But I think in matters where Vicky and Clint are concerned, I think your mother should butt out.
Why is that? Tina, what the hell are you getting at now?
I don't believe I'm hearing you.
Sweetheart, we both want the same thing. To find our baby and have her returned to us, no matter where we have to search, no matter where the search takes us.
And you think the search leads to me?
I didn't say you.
No, you said Nikki Smith. But Nikki Smith is a part of me. Or at least she was. But she's a part that is dead and buried now. And for you to even suggest that she might come back hurts me more than I can possibly tell you.
Can we please discuss this calmly?
Calmly? You're my husband. You're supposed to believe in me.
I do.
No, you do not. Or you wouldn't have even suggested this. Well, I have news for you and for everybody else out there. Nikki Smith did not come back, and she did not steal my baby. Believe me, you've always been my rock.
I still am.
No, you are not. You are turning on me.
Now, that's enough. Nothing, and I mean nothing, honey, will ever make me turn on you.
Fine. Then forget about Nikki Smith. Forget she ever existed.
I can't. Certain circumstances have come to light that forced me to consider the possibility that we are dealing with Nikki Smith.
What certain circumstances? What are they?
Just take my word on this.
No, I will not. If I'm accused of something, I have the right to know what the reasons are.
This isn't easy for me to say.
This isn't very easy for me to listen to. Clint, what certain circumstances? Nothing has happened that would have brought Nicky back again.
Me and Cordero.
Why would that bring Nicky back?
Honey, you had just given birth to what you thought was my first child. And then Maria informs you that I have another child, a grown son named Cord. That's not just a shock. That is the kind of news that could trigger the return of Nicky Smith.
Tina, are you saying that my ma has got something against Clint and Vicky?
Well, no, she certainly doesn't have anything against Clint. In fact, I don't really consider her a disinterested party as far as their marriage is concerned.
And what are you implying in that, huh?
Well, Clint and your mother were in love when they were kids. I mean, you're the living proof of that love.
Tina, that was a long time ago. Now, come on, my mom's got her own life now, and so does Clint.
No, but she's all alone now. It would only be natural for her to maybe secretly hope that Nicky Smith would come back again. That way, if Vicky and Clint's marriage fell apart...
You are unbelievable. You know that girl?
Cord, I'm just trying to explain to you why your mother couldn't possibly be objective about this.
Objective? Tina, you're accusing her of being a common homewrecker.
I didn't say that.
That's what you meant, though.
Cord, please, I didn't mean to say anything bad about your mother, all right? It's just that I think all of us should go a little easy with this whole Nicky Smith thing.
Tina, you're the one who started this whole Nicky Smith thing.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That's not fair. I only started because I saw that red-haired woman in the hospital nursery.
Oh, yeah? And you put two and two together and you came up with Nicky Smith, right? Well, good. Now you've got everybody believing.
Okay,
My
okay,
mom,
I'm
you got...
sorry I ever brought it up, all right? I am. Let's just forget about it, honey, because I missed you so bad, and I'm tired, and I'm so hungry, and couldn't we just forget about everybody else and have a nice dinner, just the two of us?
All right. I'm kind of hungry myself. But I do want to call my lawyer over in El Paso and make sure he knows that you sent that letter today. I want to tell him how important it is to me that he gets moving on this. You know, I want to find out if Asa was behind all that inheritance stuff, and if he is, I'm going to make sure he gets all that money back.
And no way is your lawyer ever going to see this. Honey, you know, it seems to me that we have spent enough time worrying about other people. Why don't we just concentrate on you and me?
You know, you're not making this very easy on me.
You know, we can have just a real nice, quiet little dinner, just the two of us. And then we could take a nice, quick little elevator ride right up here to our wonderful suite in our big, big bed.
All right, I guess I could call tomorrow morning.
Cord, you know just how to make me happy.
Yeah, give in.
Enough. No more talk about Jamie. No more discussion about the kids. You and I, let's play a game that we enjoy one another's company. Is that okay with you?
More than okay.
All right.
Kate! Kate! Oh, Dad! Oh, so good to see you.
Let me have one.
Let me look at you. Oh, the jungle does agree with you. You look absolutely beautiful.
It's the gorillas. They keep you young or else.
When did you get into town?
This afternoon.
Come, sit down.
Actually, I came here to give a lecture at the university.
Wonderful. When's it scheduled for?
Well, it's not. It's been canceled. So I figured I'd check into the inn and spend a few days in the old town. I did put in a call to Mendora.
Oh, thank you.
What a coincidence, huh? The three of us here in one place at one time.
You know, actually, it's 4.
Jamie, too?
Mm-hmm. We're all staying at Grand's house while she's in Europe.
I don't believe it. That gigantic old house? Dad, how'd you ever talk Mom into that?
Your father can be very persuasive when he puts his mind to it.
If I didn't know better, I'd say the Sanders family is beginning to resemble a real family.
We could be a real family and a complete family with you here, Kate. I know you love to wander, but we haven't heard from you in so long. Just stay a while so we can get to know you again.
Well, no promises, but maybe I'll stay a little longer than I planned.
The nerve of some people. She's coming on to you again.
Oh, Tina, now come on. She's just being friendly, that's all.
Well, don't encourage her.
Tina, why are you getting so bent out of shape about a little smile and a wave? Come on, how many times have I walked into a room with you on my arm and every man in the room just stopped where he was and looked at you?
I don't know. How many times?
The point is, you've got nothing to worry about with Miss Sanders over there. Besides, she's got nothing going for her. So all she's got is big, rich name, a lot of money, a lot of looks.
Are you trying to get me upset?
Of course not, Tina. I'm just trying to cover all my bases here. Because if I find out that money came from Asa, I'm just going to have to give it back to him. Then I'm going to have to find myself a rich girlfriend to keep me in the lifestyle to which I've become accustomed.
I don't find that very funny.
What's the matter, Tina? Don't you like jokes?
Not when they're about our future. Besides, you're not going to have to give back the money because I am positive that Asa has nothing to do with it. So why don't we change the subject from her and talk about something else? How'd it go with Vicky?
Honey, I was surprised to find out you had a grown son. I wasn't devastated.
At first, maybe. Not consciously.
Now you're going to psychoanalyze me?
I am trying to help you.
Then stand by me and believe in me. Good God, you have Tina's word and a few strands of hair from a wig. And from that, you are jumping to the incredible conclusion that Nicky Smith came out and stole our baby?
Do you think I want to come to such a conclusion? Sweetheart, every instinct, every fiber in me wants to deny the possibility.
Then deny it, because I am telling you it is not true. Please, if you love me, believe in
Damn
me.
it, Vicky, it's because I love you that I have to tell you what I'm feeling, what's going through my mind. I am terrified. Not just for you, but for Jessica.
Don't you think I am?
Yes. And honey, that's why we have to give some credence to something Larry said.
Another expert opinion.
Oh, wait a minute, listen to me. What if Jessica were taken somewhere and abandoned?
Stop that.
What if Nicky took her somewhere and left her? What if she is cold and hungry and crying?
Stop it! What are you trying to do to me? Stop that!
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, you were saying?
Just that your grandmother's house, as you so delicately put it, is gigantic and there's always room for you.
Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Why don't you try it? Your brother's agreed to it.
Oh, really? How much do you have to pay him?
I resent that, young lady.
She's on target there, Charles, let's face it.
Oh, then Jamie's still the same lovable brat he always was?
I'm afraid so, except I'm a little more worried about him than usual.
Why? What's he done now?
Well, nothing to really be concerned about. One thing he has done is he's stopped his wandering around the world, which is a little more than I can say for some people.
Dad, I can't help it if I love to travel.
The Aborigines of New Guinea are not the only fascinating people in the world. If you look around, you'll find something very interesting right under your own nose.
Maybe you're right. What can you tell me about that garish specimen over there?
Tina Roberts? Well, you might find her in your anthropological studies under predator.
I don't know. I have another word for it, déclasse. And I think her cowboy husband falls in the same category.
Oh, Dad, you haven't changed a bit. Still the same incurable snob.
But you'd promised you'd wait till morning. But, honey, I want a nice, relaxed dinner with my husband.
Well, maybe your husband would be a little more relaxed if his lawyer in El Paso was looking into that inheritance thing.
He will once he gets the letter, but now can't you forget about it just for one night?
No, Tina, I can't. Because even the fact that I'm paying for dinner tonight reminds me of, well, maybe I'm using Asa's guilt money to pay for it.
Excuse me, Mr. Roberts. Your mother just called the front desk. She said she'd like to see you up in her room.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot, Dan. I know what she wants.
Well, maybe you better go and find out.
Yeah, I won't be long, honey.
Oh, honey, that's all right. Anything to get you out of her eye for a little while.
Now, honey, you're just going to have to get used to sharing, that's all. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Please stop it. This is terrible enough as it is.
I'm not trying to frighten you.
Yes, you are. For some reason that I don't understand, you want to believe that I could have harmed our daughter.
Damn it, I don't want to believe it. But, honey, you're not telling me anything. You're not saying anything that will ease my mind.
But why should I have to say or do anything? Clint, I'm your wife. I'm Jessica's mother. Do you really believe that I went into her room and stole her out of her crib in the dead of night and left her God knows where? What kind of a monster do you think I am?
I'm not accusing you. It's Nicky Smith.
No.
Honey, in a lot of ways, Nicky Smith is a monster. She could have stolen our baby. And she could have taken her somewhere and left her and returned to Landfair and to you, and you wouldn't even know what happened.
It didn't happen.
But what if it did? Try to see it the way I am seeing it. Try to understand why I'm going out of my mind with worry.
Clint, there is no Nicky Smith.
We don't know that. For all we know, she could have reemerged just long enough to take the baby somewhere, leave her, come back to Landfair, and disappear back into you.
I can't hear another word of this, not another word.
Honey, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you, but I won't let our baby suffer. Who's feeding her? Who's changing her? Who's keeping her from dying in some abandoned room?
I don't know. But Nicky didn't take her. She didn't.
Got him, but I'm sure he has time for me.
Guess again.
After everything I've done for you, Asa.
And what the hell was that?
Look, now that Cord knows that you are the one responsible for keeping him from his real father for all these years, you know what else he's starting to think about? I'll give you a hint. He's starting to think about 2,000 acres of prime Texas real estate that he inherited after Al died.
You're saying Cord knows I'm behind that?
I'm saying he's thinking you are. He even wrote a letter to that lawyer in Texas, the one you hired to take care of those 2,000 acres. And you know what? You would be in real trouble if I had not ripped up that letter, so you better figure out some way to cover up your tracks before Cord figures out that you are the one responsible for giving him that money.
Not me, honey. You're the one sitting on a powder keg, and I could care less if it blows up under your well-posted posterior.
Look, if I go, you go.
I'm already gone. Cord knows about Clint, hates my guts. There's not much more I can lose, but you, Miss Sunshine, you can lose plenty, can't you?
Lisa, I came here as your friend.
Oh, please. You came here as a desperate woman trying to hold on to a marriage. The hell do I care if Cord finds out you lied to him? I just might stand there and applaud while he leaves you flat.
Yeah, and you would do that too, wouldn't you?
As long as it was you, honey, I would enjoy. Now go.
With pleasure. All right, Asa, I am going to give you one more chance. I'm going to give you one more chance to redeem your whole miserable life by just doing one little act on my behalf.
You're a comedian, you know that? Either that or you're the brassiest thing I've ever met.
Look, Asa, I know that you don't have to do anything for me. I know that.
That's the only honest thing you've said.
But you can help yourself here. Look, if you do this one little thing for me, I will be your friend for life.
You? I would rather have a diamondback rattlesnake for a friend.
What, you want me to beg? All right, okay, I'm begging. I will do anything if you will just help me out just now.
I will never want anything from the likes of you, and I would never feel compelled to lift a finger to help. Maybe there is something you can do for me.
Ma, you don't have to apologize, all right?
After snapping at you in public, I think I do.
Well, the truth is, I wasn't very understanding towards you either, right?
I love you for defending Vicky.
And I love you for defending Clint. All right? It's easy to understand.
Then you're not mad at me?
Of course not, Ma. I told you, I've already forgotten why I was snapping at you in the first place.
Thanks. Oh, after Jessica's disappearance, this has been so hard on everyone. But it would be silly if it caused any difficulty between us, huh?
Of course it would, Ma, because everybody wants the same thing out of this. We want that baby back home safe and sound.
Right.
Oh, that's probably Tina. I left her downstairs in the lobby.
Clint.
Maria, I know it's late, but I have to see you. It's, Oh, Cord, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were...
Oh, it's all right, Clint. I was just about to leave myself.
No, Cord, wait a minute. Clint, you look very troubled. Is there any news about the baby?
No, nothing so far. Nothing's happened.
Look, Clint, I want you to know that I'm on standby here, day and night. If you ever need a thing, you just give me a call, huh?
Well, thanks, Cord. We just may need all the help we can get before this thing is over.
Oh, you got that. Take care, huh?
Uh-huh.
Good night, son.
Bye-bye, Mom.
Something has happened, hasn't it?
I only wish I knew what has happened. That's why I have to talk to you, Maria. You're the only one that can help.
Well, I'll do whatever I can.
Well, I need details. The way Vicky was talking, the way she was acting, the night Jessica was kidnapped. The night you told her that Cord was my son.
Doesn't it seem a little strange to you? He goes up to the elevator and his wife runs right for the door.
It's no stranger, Kate, than you being more concerned about some cowboy than you are about your own parents whom you haven't seen in a year.
Charles, you know Kate has always had a passion for the primitive type.
Shame she can't get interested in someone a little more civilized.
Ooh, civilized. You mean like the Republic of Mindora? After the revolution that nearly took place there, I'd say the jungle is an infinitely more civilized place.
She got you there, Charles.
And you are now an expert in international politics.
Well, I don't carry around a briefcase filled with secrets, but I do try to keep up with the news.
And what is your assessment of the present crisis in Mandora?
Just that a self-promoting gangster named Colonel Dimitri tried to seize power and failed. They say he's probably seeking asylum in some neutral country.
I didn't know that. Is it true?
Possibly.
See what I mean? He has all the secrets. In the jungle, there aren't any. You know who your enemies are and your friends.
Charles, I didn't Kate?
Uncle John! I don't believe it.
I didn't know you were in town.
Join the club.
Oh, that's my favorite niece.
Your only niece.
Yeah, but still my favorite. You know, I expected to see you with vines in your hair and a bone through your nose. You're still as gorgeous as ever.
And you're as big a liar as ever and twice as handsome.
That's because he hangs out with the primates. That's why you have a natural rapport with him.
Gee, thank you, Charlie.
John, I'd ask you to join us this evening, but I know you've got other plans.
Not anymore.
Don't tell me a lady stood you up.
Well, let's just say we parted on mutually lousy terms.
Oh, you and Dorian had a falling out. I'm crushed.
And who is Dorian?
Darling, I think that these two need to catch up on a lot of conversation, so why don't we give them a shot at that? What do you
What
say?
a good idea. That is, you and John have a very nice conversation if, on one condition, you come for breakfast tomorrow morning
I
at the house.
wouldn't miss it.
Good.
All right, till tomorrow morning then. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you later. Oh, my briefcase. I should cuff this thing to my wrist.
What's in there, Charlie? Top secrets?
Yep.
He's not telling, are you, Dad?
Wouldn't be secret if I did, would it? Good night.
Oh, John, I knew you'd come back, and there is no need to apologize.
A very pleasant good evening to you, Mrs. Lord.
Why, Colonel Dimitri, what are you doing here?
Give me 5 minutes to explain. That's all I need.
You're a wanted man. What do you want from me?
You're looking at a man in desperate need of a friend. That's why I'm throwing myself at your mercy. You won't deny me, will you?
Problem in El Paso. You're going to have to do something for me in return.
Well, you have to tell me what it is.
I'll tell you when the time is right. Right now, you get friendly again with Pamela.
Wait a minute. You want me to spy on your wife?
I'm asking you to do what you said you'd do. Anything and everything. Cozy up to her. Find out what's really going on between Pam and Pete O'Neill.
I can't do that. Pam is my friend. Well, I mean, sometimes she is, and I don't want to go poking around in her personal life.
Would you rather have your husband poke around in yours? You do this, Tina, or you'll slowly drift in the wind. Now make up your mind.
And you'll never tell Cord that we had this conversation?
And you don't tell Pamela. Since she's asked for the divorce, it's every man for himself.
Oh, divorce. Yes, I think that's probably the ugliest word in the whole English language. Oh, all right. All right. I better get going. Cord finds I'm gone. I'm gonna have to come up with another lie.
Well, I'm sure you'll find a way. You always do.
Well, you get my vote as the real hero. I remember hearing how you rescued that Stone Age village from the government. What is so fascinating, Katie?
How you doing, John?
Hello, Cord.
Miss Sanders?
I didn't realize you knew my niece.
Yeah, we, met earlier today.
You look troubled, Mr. Roberts. Lose something?
Yeah, my wife. Well, I mean, I was supposed to meet her down here in the lobby. You haven't seen her, have you?
As a matter of fact, I saw her leave just a few seconds after you went upstairs.
You did? Huh, I guess you went up to the suite then. Thanks a lot.
Don't mention it.
Just met him today, huh? What is happening here, kiddo?
What's happening is I'm coveting a neighbor's goods.
A married man? Now, that is not like you, Kate.
There's something about him, John.
Mm-hmm. And her name is Tina.
No, I mean, there's a special quality about him that I never expected to find in a man. He seems to take the world as he finds it, without lies or games or petty little tricks.
Well, if that's true, why did he marry a woman that is completely the opposite?
Intraspecific pairing.
Say what?
Man and woman, yin and yang, Cord and Tina, you and whoever.
Now, don't go dragging me into your theory.
It's no theory. Homo sapiens thrive on diversity. They require mates who challenge their horizons, expand their values, their lives. That's human love. Fulfilling and completing. Amazing, huh?
Yeah. Thank you.
For what?
You just solved my problems.
What are you talking about? What's going on?
Later. I've got some experimenting of my own to do.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you bring me a phone, please?
Sure, right away.
Thank you. So, the information was correct. Dear old Dad and dear old Mom are together again. Jamie, too. Even Uncle John. One big happy family.
Here's your phone, ma'am.
Thank you. Hi, it's me. Yes, I made contact. Look, don't worry. I'm sure the information we need is in my father's briefcase. Trust me, one way or another, I'm gonna get it.
Please, Mrs. Lord, in the name of liberty and justice, grant me a sanctuary.
You mean you want to stay here, in my home?
Only for a day or two.
I don't care if it's just for a peanut butter sandwich. The answer is no.
But, Mrs. Lord, the last time we met at the Sanders mansion, I could have sworn we were kindred spirits.
That's before I knew what kind of a spirit you were. I have just been released from prison myself. I told you that. I can't afford to be mixed up in anything remotely illegal.
Of course not, but let me assure you that...
Please, Colonel, all I know about you is that you tried to stage a revolution, take over the government in Mendora. It failed, and now you're a wanted man. You cannot stay here.
Then where would you have me stay? As one who has known injustice firsthand.
And please, don't appeal to my sense of compassion, because my sense of survival is going to win out. Goodbye.
Ah, yes. Very well. Mrs. Lord, as a journalist, can you resist having an international fugitive in your own home?
I most certainly can. I must. Because no matter how good the story is, it doesn't merit that kind of risk. Good night. Good night.
Your risks are small, Mrs. Lord. Your rewards are great. But for me, if I'm caught and sent back to Mendora, there is only the finality of the firing squad.
I'm truly sorry. Really, I am.
There will be no justice for me, Mrs. Lord. No trial. No jury of my peers. Only 12 bullets. Unless you help me now. Mrs. Lord, as a woman of honor, as a journalist of rare compassion, won't you please come to my rescue?
Clint, I'm trying to remember.
Well, try harder, Marie. I need to know if she was so traumatized by what you told her that the worst was allowed to happen and that Nikki was allowed to resurface.
You were young and frightened. You didn't.
Poor Clint. He came all alone. He was at this high school trip, and he discovered that I was gone.
What about Al? Did he know that Cord wasn't his son?
Oh, yes, he knew. It was lucky for me in that he fell in love with me shortly after we met. And my mother promised to buy him a big ranch if he would marry me despite the fact that I was pregnant. He thought that I became pregnant by some drifter. I cried so hard through the ceremony because I wished so desperately that I was marrying a young man that I...
You poor thing. What you must have gone through. And Clint, what he went through.
Well, Maria?
Yes, I remember. Vicky was very upset when I told her. She seemed like she wanted to cry, and at first I thought her sadness might be for you and me because of what our parents had done to us. But now that I think about it, she may have been thinking about herself and your baby.
Because Jessica wasn't my first child after all.
You don't think that this would cause her to resent the baby? That she might see Jessica as some sort of wedge between you?
I didn't consider that until now.
You know, after I told her about Cord, she whispered Jessica's name, and she looked so sad. Oh, Clint, I hope I haven't said too much.
No. No, Maria, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you for telling me the truth.
Good night, Clint.
Good night, Maria.
All right, Colonel, you can stay.
Oh, Mrs. Lord, you're an angel.
Just overnight. One night.
A night for which I shall be eternally grateful. Carlos Dmitri has a long memory. I will never forget this act of kindness.
Oh, no. Do you suppose that you were followed?
Well, one can never be sure.
This is all I need, a firing squad built for two. Come. Down the hall. First door on the right. That's the guest room. Hide. Who is it?
It's Johnny boy. Hello? Now don't say anything before I get this off my chest.
John, this honestly is not the best time.
I know you're still mad, but listen, I've had my dinner, I've calmed down, and most important of all, I've done some serious thinking.
Well, that's really very nice, but if you don't mind...
Do you know how rare you are? Do you know how rare we are? Especially when it comes to this interest-specific pairing?
How much suds did you have at the station?
Oh, I'm sober as a judge, and wiser, but that's why I've packed up my clothes, and I've come to take you up on your offer. Yeah. Now, listen, I am not saying that I'm ready for marriage, but I'm willing, make that anxious, to take it one night at a time. All right. Make that one day at a time. Or 1 week, hell, whatever makes you happy. Dorian, aren't you going to say anything?
I'm really not up to it tonight.
How's that?
I have a headache. I mean, I really have a headache. And I'll call you in the morning, okay? We'll talk.
You'll call me in the morning. You asked me to make a lifelong commitment, and I struggle with that decision and come over here with my clothes and take you up on your offer, and you tell me we'll talk about it in the morning?
I was hoping you'd understand.
Good. I understand, all right. You, lady, ought to be put under a microscope with tiny pins stuck through your tiny little heart.
I think the world of you too, John. Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Oh, Colonel! Colonel?
I hope I didn't get you into any trouble.
Trouble? Trouble? I have just pushed the man I love out the door. Put him out like he was a cat for the night. And you say trouble?
Oh, dear. If you're feeling particularly lonely, perhaps I could make it up to you?
Colonel, don't you dare.
Where you been?
Well, I went for a walk. You know, I couldn't seem to get that Sanders woman out of my mind in the way she was shamelessly flirting with my husband. So, I decided to go for a walk rather than throw my drink in her smug little face.
Tina, why are you reacting like this?
Because I love you and I don't want to lose you. And as far as you are concerned, I am hopelessly jealous.
Well, you don't have to be jealous. Because I'm a one-woman man, and you're my one woman.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just forget about her? And we'll go have that dinner you promised me.
Oh, that sounds good to me. Oh, but wait, I do want to call that lawyer in El Paso again.
Again?
Yeah, I called him downstairs in the lobby when I was waiting for you, but the line was busy. Now, just hold on.
Listen, I am starved, and not just for dinner. So couldn't we just go down there and have a nice, quick little dinner, just you and me, and you can call El Paso in the morning?
Honey, if there is the slightest chance that Nikki kidnapped Jessica,
She didn't.
we have to know for sure. And we have to find out where she's hidden the baby. Now, that only leaves us with one alternative. Honey, you must allow yourself to be hypnotized so we can bring Nikki Smith back to life. I know that's a horrible thought, but it's the only way left to us.
You know, I knew you had doubts and I knew you had suspicions. I never dreamed you would betray me like this.
I am not betraying you. I am trying to find my baby.
Your baby. Our baby, Clint. She's my baby, too. Did you forget that completely? She's my baby, too. And I didn't take her. I did not leave this house as Vicky or Nikki. The night that she was taken, I was asleep on that sofa.
I know that you thought you were.
I was. And furthermore, I will not allow Nikki Smith to be dragged out of me one more time just to satisfy your lack of faith.
This is not a matter of faith.
Oh, yes, it is, Clint. And let me tell you something. Faith is a very fragile thing. Rather like a marriage. You need confidence. And you need love. And if you take that away, you have nothing.
Vicky. Vicky, wait.
Lord, I slept like the proverbial baby. And you?
I slept like a very nervous baby. I kept being afraid federal agents were going to come bursting in the door searching for you.
Some may think of me as a dangerous fugitive. But you, Mrs. Lord, I'm sure you see me as the patriot that I am.
All I can see is that I showed the man I love out the door so that you could hide here last night.
If there's any way I can show my gratitude.
Yes, you can. You can keep your end of the bargain. You can pack up your medals in your old kit bag and hit the road before John Russell comes back.
Well, I guess you've got a lot better things to do than to waste your mornings with your Uncle John, huh?
No, I'm glad you called, Uncle John. With Dan preoccupied with his trial, friends are in short supply these days.
Yeah, friends like, what's her name, Jeannie Johnson? I hear she left town in a hurry. Is that right?
Jeannie Johnson. I don't know anyone by that name.
Come on, Jamie. I'm not trying to check up on you and your girlfriends.
The girl, whoever she is no friend of mine.
There must be some sort of mix-up. You know who I'm talking about? She was Dorian's roommate at Statesville Prison.
So?
So, until she was with you at the Waterside Inn, she was planning on staying in Landview. Then she got a sudden change of heart and took off for Hawaii. I was hoping you might be able to tell me why.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. It's a simple question, Jamie.
Simple hell. I don't know what you're up to, Uncle John, but I've got nothing more to say to you.
You're not going anywhere until you answer my question.
Wait a minute. You want me to spy on your wife?
I'm asking you to do what you said you'd do. Anything and everything. Cozy up to her. Find out what's really going on between Pam and Pete O'Neill.
I can't do that. Pam is my friend. Well, I mean, sometimes she is, and I don't want to go poking around in her personal life.
Would you rather have your husband poke around in yours? You do this, Tina, or you'll slowly drift in the wind. Now make up your mind.
Pam, thanks for stopping by. I know it's still early, but...
Cut the niceties, will you, Tina? What do you want?
Pam, there's really no need to be so abrupt. I mean, we can still be friends, right?
All consider breakfast one of the most important meals of the day. Sometimes it was their only meal.
Kate, that's fascinating. Katie, amongst your travels through the Himalayas, did you ever happen to come upon a fellow naturalist of the male persuasion?
Several, but work is central in my life right now, and I don't have time for romance.
You could make time.
You know, I'm always telling everyone how special my parents are, and then I come home to find you talking like every other mom and dad in the world. When are you going to get settled and married?
Huh?
I'd much rather hear about what you two are doing. Like the revolt down in Mendora. Now that seems like fascinating stuff.
That, my dear, is the wrong topic. It's guaranteed to spoil your breakfast.
But I'm interested, Dad, and since you are the resident expert.
Your daughter wants to know more about your work, and frankly, so do I.
All right, I shall regale you both with the dark tales of Colonel Dmitri and his attempted coup, but later.
Oh, come on, Dad. I want to feel a part of your life again. Especially the juicy part.
Yeah, I know you do, but I have to go and get a tie and a jacket. I'm being interviewed by the Banner in a few minutes, and they're going to send a photographer, and there they are.
Oh, there's the photographer. Why don't we bribe him to take a family portrait?
Jamie, too? Well, that would make the occasion as special as the return of Halley's Comet.
Alan Murphy from the Banner. This is my photographer, Cord Roberts.
Yes, sir. Mr. Saunders is expecting you. If you will follow me.
What do you think?
Well, it ain't very sad, but it's close.
Mr. Murphy and Mr. Roberts of the Banner, sir. Gentlemen, how you doing? Good morning.
Well, what do you know? It's true what they say about lightning. It does strike twice.
Why do you think I want something? All right. I will admit that I haven't always been honest with you in the past.
Oh, really?
But I want to make up for it. Pam, you're practically my only friend in Landview.
Now, why doesn't that reassure me?
Look, I know we can still be friends. I mean, in every sense of the word.
You know, once upon a time, Pamela Stewart would have fallen for that, Tina. But Pamela Buchanan has studied with the master of duplicity, and I just don't buy it.
Pam, I am your friend. I truly am.
I know what you truly are, and I know what you truly want. And would you like me to tell you? Protection.
From what?
From Asa. Are you afraid that Asa's going to tell Cord all about that pretty little blackmail deal so you could get him all that land in El Paso? Aha. I'm getting warm.
Nothing could be further from my...
Oh, come on. Stop it, Tina. Now, Clint already knows the truth. Asa has nothing to lose. Why shouldn't he tell Cord about you?
Okay, you're right. You're too smart for me, Pam. All right, the reason I asked for you to be here is because I have to ask for your help.
I'm glad that's out on the open. And my answer to you is not on your life.
But, Pam, you've got to help me. I had to come to you because you're the only one close enough to Asa to get him to listen to you.
Boy, this really is not your day. You see, I'm the last person in the world that Asa is going to listen to right now. As a matter of fact, the only way we even communicate at all is through lawyers.
Lawyers? Oh, no, Pam. Does that mean that...
Yes, we're going to get a divorce. So even if I wanted to, Tina, I'm afraid I can't help you.
I'm sorry, Pam. I really am. I mean, I was so busy thinking about my own problems. They must seem so trivial in comparison to yours. Can you forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive.
Oh, I don't know. I was so concerned with saving my own marriage. I didn't even think about the problems you might be having in yours. Look, Pam, if there's anything I can do.
Well, there isn't. Thanks for asking, though. And I'm sorry I was so tough on you.
No, I deserve it.
No, you're right. Friendship is a friendship.
Yeah. So, are you having an affair with Pete O'Neill?
Perhaps if I were to explain to your gentleman friend... Bad idea, no?
Very bad idea, yes. He's a private detective.
Say no more. That would put an end to my brilliant career. And an end to your story.
Colonel...
Please, don't say another word. You've helped me, and it would give me the greatest of joy to repay this kindness.
The only way you can repay the kindness is for you to leave this morning.
If this man is deserving your love, surely you won't be foolish enough to abandon you over so trivial a matter as one night's rejection?
He is very understanding and very deserving, and surely you have more pressing things on your mind than my personal life.
Is that your charming way of telling me to get lost? Very well, Mrs. Lord. As you know, I have many enemies, even here in the U.S. But I will find a sanctuary, wherever it might be.
Don't let me keep you.
But I will never forget Dorian Lord. Once you become a friend of Carlos Dimitri's, you're a friend for life.
You are very kind and very charming.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am going to go over and see John and see if there's anything I can do to repair his damaged ego. Can I drop you anywhere?
That won't be necessary. You've done more than enough, dear lady. I will leave by the back door, on foot. It's best that you're not seen with me, right?
Right.
Till a brighter day, then. Adieu.
Colonel, take care.
A old trusted friend and a staunch supporter, and I don't know how I would have gotten through the last few weeks without him.
Uh-huh.
If by you mean have I been his lover, the answer is no, Tina.
Well, that's a relief. I mean, for you. I mean, because you don't need any more entanglements right now, right? But can I give you just a little piece of advice here?
Oh, please do.
Look, Asa isn't going to believe the truth. It doesn't matter to him what the truth is. He's always going to assume the worst.
Yeah, I'm afraid he already has. You know, he hired a detective to follow me.
No.
May even have broken into my room to see if he could catch us in bed.
Well, can you prove it?
No, I can't. But I wouldn't put it past him. I don't think there's anything that he wouldn't stoop to right now, no matter how low.
Yeah, it's amazing what some people will do when they're desperate.
Yeah, well, you let that be a lesson to you.
To me?
Yes, you have a real reason to be worried about Asa. He's lost Clint, and I don't think there's bother him at all to destroy your marriage.
I'm well aware of that, believe me.
Well, I wish there was something I could do to help you out, but like I said, I'm the last person in the world that Asa would listen to right now. So I'm afraid you're going to have to work this one out all by yourself.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right, too. And whatever it takes to save my marriage, I guess I'm just going to have to do it.
Am I mistaken, or have you two crossed swords before?
Our first meeting wasn't exactly auspicious.
There, you see? Now there is something that we agree on.
Just my luck that the first person I meet upon returning to Landview turns out to be
I believe the word you used was creep.
My.
There, now I think I'm ready for the camera.
Perfect. Why don't you just hold it right there for a minute, sir? Oh, very nice.
Okay.
All right, Mrs. Sanders, if you don't mind joining the ambassador.
love it.
Come on, darling. And Miss Sanders, how about you two?
Come on, Katie. There you go.
Think you could manage a smile?
Very nice.
Mr. Sanders, if there's someplace private, I'd like to interview Mrs. Sanders along with you.
Well, surely. How about the solarium? What do you think, darling?
Sure, follow me, Mr. Wood.
Thanks. Cord, why don't you stay here? I might need some more shots later, okay?
Great. Katie, pour the gentleman some coffee. Well,
Well, what?
never mind, I'll get it myself.
Careful now. Wouldn't want your wife to come bursting through the door and find us sharing a forbidden cup of coffee.
Why don't we save ourselves a little grief here and stick to a neutral subject, like, well, your work. You ever use a camera in any of your research?
Never. The native tribesmen fear it. They believe it captures their soul.
Oh, yeah? Hey, is that what I've got here? Your soul?
If you do, you've got a lot more on me than I have on you. Who are you, Cord, besides being the most married man I've ever met?
See that? You've got me wrong already. I'm the most happily married man you've ever met.
And that's it? That sums you up?
Yeah, I'm just this West Texas hick, you know. Just lucked upon two different things. My camera and a very beautiful woman named Tina Lord. Both of them have changed my life for the better.
Something tells me there's more to you than that.
Oh, yeah, I'm real deep. How about you? It's got to be more to you than research notes and fossils, huh?
You sound like my dad.
Is he wrong?
Let's just say there's a spirit of adventure that runs through our family. My mother and father try to deny it, but it's blatantly obvious in my Uncle John and me. When we see a challenge, we don't shy away. We go for it.
Don't play games with me, Jamie. You were seen with Jeannie Johnson right before she did this big turnaround and flew off to the islands.
Why don't you believe me? I don't know this Jeannie Johnson.
All right, right now I've got no other choice but to accept your word on it. But you better be playing it straight with me.
I am, I swear.
Just listen up, all right? Because I am going to check into every dirty little corner of this case. From Vince to the backstreet bar to Jeannie taking off for Hawaii suddenly, and everything I can to find the real killer on this case. And if you happen to get caught in the net, well, that is just too bad.
You never have liked me, have you, Uncle John? But I can't believe you're out trying to frame me.
I am not out trying to frame anybody. That has already been tried with Dan Warlick, your pal, remember?
Hey, I don't need lectures on loyalty.
Just so you understand where I'm coming from. Because any man that'll let another man take a rap for him, well, he deserves everything he's gonna get.
If you're finished.
Yeah, for now.
I just hope I don't have to waste any more of my time talking with you. Good day, Uncle.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Dorian.
I'm looking for your uncle. Have you seen him?
Over there. He's all yours.
Hello, sailor. Is this seat taken?
Did you sleep tight?
If you don't want to see me, I'll just turn around and leave.
Sit down.
So you're not still angry at me?
How can I stay angry with you, huh? My sense of humor always wins out.
Is that what I appeal to, your sense of humor?
Yeah, among other baser instincts.
Couldn't we just forget about last night?
That, my dear, is easier said than done.
You said that you wanted us to start cohabitating one day, one night at a time. I'm ready to start, John. How about you?
My sinuses are under attack, Sarge. What do you need for sinus pain? Sign off, sign off. What do you need to breathe again? Sign off, sign off. For
I hope you're not planning to use that on me, sir.
I wouldn't waste the ammo. What are you doing here, boy?
Hey, Si, I understand you're being a little perturbed with me, but there was nothing else I
Danny,
could
why would I be perturbed? Because you blabbed to your girlfriend and lost up the ransom drop for little Jessica Ann, huh?
I hate to remind you, but the creep that you tried to pay off didn't even have the baby. And if it wasn't for Allison tipping off the cops, you would have lost your $1,000,000, and I would have lost my life.
I should be grateful for that.
As a matter of fact, yes. And not to me, but to Allison as well. Unless you're just too embarrassed to admit it.
Look, get out of here before I get thrown out. I don't cotton any sidewinding children I can't trust.
If blind trust is what you want, you're right, Asa. I'm not your man. You can hire any fool off the street who'd be willing to jump whenever you holler. It'll be exactly what you deserve.
You hide your stay, boy.
No, there's something else. I came here to see how you were, not to follow up on a job. But I can see that you're as big a jerk as everyone says you are. I'm just glad I found out in time.
Wait a minute. Damn it, I said wait a minute.
Well, I just don't look at a horse as being just another animal. Because I know what it feels like to ride him. You know, the freedom you feel, excuse me, when you're riding up there high on the saddle.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, you ride?
I've been known to.
Really? Hey, maybe we can go out sometime riding together.
Is that an invitation?
Yeah, sure it is, as long as you don't mind my wife tagging along, of course.
Of course.
Of course. She's not much of a rider, but, you know, I bet if the two of you got to know each other, you'd get along real well.
Cord, we won't be needing any more pictures after all.
Oh, great.
I hope you'll give us a copy of the interview before you print it. It would really be a courtesy, wouldn't it, darling?
Hmm?
Oh, yes, that would be a courtesy.
Well, I don't know how Clint Buchanan would feel about that.
Well, I could tell you exactly how he would react to that. I think he'd nix it, sorry.
Oh, I think the Banner could manage it this time, don't you?
Judith, I'm sure we'll be able to work something out later. Gentlemen, if you're finished, I do have other business to tend to.
Then we won't keep you. Thanks again, Mr. Sanders.
Pleasure.
Mrs. Sanders.
I'll see you gentlemen out.
I'll come with you. Cord was just telling me all about horses and other creatures, weren't you, Cord?
Yeah. Aren't you a little young to be playing hide and seek, son?
Dad, I need to speak with you in private.
Can't it wait?
No, this is important.
What happened now?
It's Uncle John. He's intent on solving this Bates murder all by himself.
So?
So, he's close to linking me to Jeannie Johnson. I mean, he's going to find out that I was dealing cocaine, and he'll think that I had something to do with Susan Bates' death, which I didn't.
Jamie. All right, wait here. I'll see if I can get rid of your mother and your sister. Darling, I have some bad news.
Don't tell me there's another coup d'etat at Medora and the executive office has asked you to stand by.
Well, nothing quite that dramatic, but there are some diplomatic moves that I do have to make in regard to that situation.
Does that mean our morning together is off?
Rain check. Why don't you two girls go shopping?
That's a good idea. You could use a new fall wardrobe after all those months in the jungle.
I like my wardrobe such as it is.
Darling, I wasn't being critical. I just thought it might be fun
you
to...
have your style and I have mine. Look, go shopping. I'd rather see Mrs. Holloway and Payson and Cook. It's been so long since I've talked to them.
All right, you indulge your proletarian taste. You've already shamed me out of shopping. Back to my office. But I'm holding you to that promise, Charles, that we have a morning together. In fact, a whole day together.
Count on it.
Come on, Mom. Let's leave the ambassador to his top secrets.
Thank you.
Whatever they are.
Bye.
Bye. All right, son. Start talking. And this time, I want everything.
Now, you're sure you're ready for me to move some of my stuff in?
Absolutely. We are officially cohabitating now. One day, one night at a time.
No second thoughts, no third thoughts, no delays, no disruptions.
No. But I'll tell you, if our nights, one night at a time, are as wonderful as they have been, why, we might be together for years and years and years.
Well, right now, I'd settle for 24 hours like this.
Do you think you're going to be comfortable here?
Yeah. You know, you've got great taste.
Yeah.
Though I just wonder if there's any room for any of my influences.
I'm open to any and all suggestions.
Yeah, well, I've got this perfect fabulous big moose's head will look just great right over here.
Bring it. In fact, bring the whole moose if it'll make you happy.
And no, seriously, John, your books, your tapes, records, anything like that. What is it?
Just this. Dorian, thank you for last night. Yours ever, D.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
My head hurts. Mom can fix that. Baby medicine.
Oh, Lord, she's got Uncle John by the nose. That's why he's taken up this crusade.
Uncle John is very clever, and so is Dorian.
You don't have to tell me that. I guess she didn't believe Jeannie's story about why she was leaving for Hawaii.
Does she suspect that you were involved with Jeannie?
I guess she does, which makes Uncle John suspect. He really tried to nail me today.
Well, with any luck, Jeannie will have picked a very remote island in Hawaii where no one will ever find her.
I hope you're right. But even with Jeannie out of the way, I'm still vulnerable. Uncle John could try to connect me to the crack ring.
How? If buying and selling was all you were doing.
That is all, but there's the back street bar.
What about it?
That's where Susan Bates was killed, and supposedly that's where the crack ring set up its operation.
I know that, Jamie, but what does that have to do with you?
I own the corporation that bought the back street from one of Asa Buchanan's real estate companies.
Oh, you own it?
Dad, it was just an investment. Believe me, I didn't know what was going on downstairs in the basement.
I don't believe you.
It's true. I knew you and Mom wouldn't allow me to buy that property, so I set up the dummy corporation. But if John checks into that corporation, he's going to connect me to the back street.
And then he'll connect you to the crack ring. Jamie, how could you have been so monumentally stupid?
Dad, lots of people set up dummy corporations.
That's not what I'm talking about, son. Why didn't you tell me about this in the first place?
I didn't think it would go this far. The questions and the snooping, I mean. If I'd known, I would have told you from the start.
What else is there that you're not telling me now? Were you at the back street the night the Bates girl was killed? No, come on now, were you? Are you an accessory to murder?
Dad, I swear, I have told you everything. Now, you've got to believe that.
You practically call me every name in the book. Now, here's what I gotta say to you. Bullseye.
Sir?
Sometimes, mind, just sometimes, I can be a cantankerous, short-sighted old cowboy that stammers at the words, thank you.
Ace, are you apologizing?
You did save the $1 million. And not mention keeping that creep Vince from making me look like a jackass and risk your own neck. Yes, Danny boy, I'm saying thank you.
I guess it's my turn. I'm sorry I said all those things.
No, you're not. I admired you for it. You got gumption. Why do you think I'm giving you a job, if you're still interested?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to be my personal assistant. We'll start slow. Train you, polish you up, and you're going to have a bright future, boy.
Hey, sir, you just point me in the right direction.
Okay. The first assignment, you're going to go over to the banner. Find Cordero Roberts. I want some pictures of little Jessica Ann. I want to run them with the national newspaper ads.
Excuse me, sir, but wouldn't it be easier if you just called Cord and have him bring the photographs over?
It's a little lesson, Dan. Simple isn't best sometimes. So I don't know how my grandson feels about me. I'm not going to force it.
Grandson? Cord?
I'll explain later. Now, I want you to meet the rest of the staff, then get you cracking. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Lead the way.
It worked. My little joke. And you fell for it. I wrote that note myself. It was my little way of getting back at you for being such a grouch last night.
It doesn't take a private detective to know this isn't your handwriting.
I had Emma write it.
Emma's day off was yesterday.
Did I say Emma? What made me do that? I mean the doorman, of course. He... Okay. The note's from Colonel Dimitri.
Colonel Dimitri?
Yes.
Who ran the coup down in Mandora was in your apartment last night?
You're making it sound like it's such a big deal.
It is. He's only wanted by every free nation in the world, Dorian.
Yes, well, if every free nation in the world could have seen him on my doorstep last night, tired, hungry, hunted, every free nation would have given him asylum, too.
I don't believe this. I have been turned away a few times in my life, but never have I taken back seat to an international criminal.
What, do you think that there was something going on and that the Colonel and I...
Come on! I suppose this was a payoff for the donuts and the coffee this morning.
Well, apparently, the Colonel is a man of rather flamboyant appetite.
Yes, he devours countries, among other things.
John, you have nothing to be jealous of, really. Come on, honey, now that we're living together, I promise you faithfully, I will not take in so much as a stray cat without asking you first, all right? Hmm? Hmm?
What is it about you? Huh? You attract more weirdos and wild men than a carnival tour.
And what are you, weirdo or wild man? Hmm?
Yeah. Loving you, I must be both.
Oh, sir. Since you love me for my excesses...
In spite of them?
All right, in spite of them. Would it be all right with you if I, kept the ruby?
Here. Hate to make you make a choice between your ruby and me.
Oh, if I had to make a choice, it'd be very easy. I would keep the ruby and you.
I'm not just worried for myself, Dad. If the police connect me to this backstreet thing, just think what it's going to do to your political career.
I don't need you to tell me what the consequences would be, Jamie.
Then you'll keep what I told you just between the two of us?
I'm not going to turn you into the police if that's what you think. Oh, Jamie, when did it start? When did you stop being the fun-loving son that I used to go sailing and fishing with?
Maybe when you stopped having time for fishing and sailing.
Yeah, I know. My work got in the way.
It's not just work, Dad. Lots of parents work hard. The point is, you preferred rubbing elbows with kings and prime ministers to spending a few minutes with me.
Wait a minute now. That's not fair. That kind of socializing is part of my job.
No, Dad, that's all you ever do. Do you remember the Easter when we were invited to spend the Easter in Washington?
Yeah.
They rolled Easter eggs on the lawn. All the parents made sure their sons or daughters got an egg. All but you, Dad. You were too busy sucking up to the chief of staff. I walked away empty-handed that day. I felt so stupid, and you didn't even notice.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you tell me?
You should have known. But you never know, Dad. You're just too damn busy to care.
Don't tell me I don't care. What about your education? You traveled the world. You've had a privileged position your whole life. Isn't that proof that I care?
All that proves is that as a diplomat, you're a hell of a success. But when it comes to your family, when it comes to giving us something money can't buy...
Jamie! All right. You got me. I don't know how I'll do it. It isn't ethical. It isn't practical. But I will find a way to either change the corporate records of the back street, maybe even have them destroyed. I don't know.
You'd do that for me?
I will do that for the little boy who went home empty-handed.
Thanks, Dad. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. We're not out of the woods yet. We still have your Uncle John to contend. I don't know. I might have a solution for that one, too.
Now, 2 ties, 3 shirts, 2 pairs of pants. I don't know, John. This isn't much of a commitment, is it?
Well, my jogging shoes, my headband.
Oh, your jogging
more commitment
shoes.
than
That
that.
makes all the difference in the world, and I guess I shouldn't push for much more than that. It's the beginning, a couple of drawers, a few hangers in my closet. It'll do from the beginning, yeah.
Thanks. And if things work out, who knows, maybe I'll bring my PJs.
Oh, if things work out, you won't need your PJs. I should be flattered. When I think of all the women who tried to get your clothes in their closets and failed.
There really weren't that many.
How many?
Listen, why don't I take this in the bedroom?
John, no, really. Stop it, stop it. You never tell me anything about your personal life. I don't want to have their names and addresses. All I want is a few interesting details.
It's really not that interesting, Dorian. Besides, I prefer to look ahead, not back.
Is that because there is something in your past you would rather I didn't know about? I love the way the phone always rings in the middle of crucial questions.
Yeah.
You no doubt arranged for that. Hello?
Dorian, it's Charles Sanders here.
Oh, hello, Charles. I'm so glad you called. Can we reschedule that interview that you promised you'd give me?
Soon, yes, but actually the reason I called was I'd like to talk to John. Does he happen to be there?
Yes, he does. Hold on a minute.
Thank you.
John. John.
Hello, Chucky.
John, I need to talk to you right away.
You couldn't have timed it worse, pal.
Well, look, I'm sorry about that, but this is very urgent. It's something I can't discuss over the phone, and, well, if you can, I'd like you to come out to the house. It's a matter of national security.
And you want my opinion on that? What is this, some kind of joke?
No joke, John. This is as serious as I have ever been in my life. I must speak to you immediately. And please don't tell Dorian the nature of this discussion.
Charlie, are you pulling my leg?
I wouldn't do that, John.
Charlie?
What's that about?
You got me. Something about diplomatic business. I better go check it out.
Wait a minute. You can't go now. We still haven't had a chance to officially celebrate our moving in together.
We've got tonight, and we've got tomorrow night, and all next week. I promise. Don't worry.
Honey, what do you mean don't worry? Can't you at least give me a hint as to what it's all about? Or... These running shoes. Well, I guess this is a beginning,
Got the pictures, Asa?
Good man. I just wanted pictures of Jessica Ann, not the photographer.
Cord insisted that he bring them over himself.
Dan told me about your ad campaign to locate Jessica. Those will probably help you.
Thank you. I think they will. Dan, I'd like to talk to Cord in private. You can go to lunch.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe I'm waiting for you to say Grandpa. Kind of stupid, huh?
Oh, I got a lot of words for you, old man. But not one of them's Grandpa.
If you want me to admit I wronged my son years ago, I admit that. Maybe you and I could have a clean start. You can ask Kevin and Joey. I'm not a bad granddad given half a chance.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be that easy because Clint isn't the only one you wronged in all this. What about my ma?
What I did back then, Cord, I saved 2 kids from ruining their lives. They survived all right. Maria had a nice life, Clint. Maybe you could now forget the past.
Yeah, well, when I choose the people I want in my life, I usually choose people I care about.
All right. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your relatives, can you?
Right, Asa. And I choose not to have you in my family.
Asa, I'm here to report. Cord, what are you doing here?
Good question, Tina. I might ask you the same thing.
Yes, Tina. What are you doing here?
It's because of Jessica. Asa wanted to know if there was any more word on her, so...
Hell, Tina, you can do better than that. I've heard you.
Cord, honestly, that's
Look, you
why
don't
I'm
have to
here.
explain, all right? Just finish whatever kind of business you've got with this man. I'll see you later.
Cord,
I can't wait to see you wiggle out of this one.
Did he say anything about the lawyer or that letter?
You said you had something to report.
Asa, tell me.
I don't have to tell you anything, Tina. What'd you find out about Pamela?
Pamela and Pete are not having an affair. Now, are you satisfied?
I don't believe you.
But there's nothing going on. They are just friends.
Bull! You're no use to me. I got a good mind to call Cord back. Tell him everything. How you blackmail me. How you been lying all these months.
No, don't, okay? Please, look,
if Pamela has anything to find out, if she's doing anything, I will find it out, all right? So, Claude, honey, wait.
What I'm about to show you are photographs of the crown jewels of Mendora. Take a look at those.
Yeah, they're pretty magnificent, but what does this have to do with Colonel Dimitri? I thought he wanted to overthrow the government down there.
Well, you see, we have our informed sources, and they tell us that Dimitri, being clever as well as ruthless, wasn't really after the leadership of the government of Mendora. What he really wanted was one of the greatest treasures in the world.
And he got it?
Well, during the coup, while the battle was going on in the courtyard, Dimitri and a couple of his followers went into the palace vault and went away with almost everything you see here.
This is incredible stuff. It's got to be worth...
5 million or more. That's called the Crimson Star. Well, do you find particular interest in that?
No, not really. What I do find of interest, though, why are you telling me about a heist that happened over a continent away? I'm not licensed in Mendora, you know.
Yes, I know. But I had you checked out, John. You have a top secret clearance for the United States government. And the United States government wants the people to believe that Dimitri was trying to seize power. But what we really want is to find these jewels and get them back.
What's that got to do with me?
Sit down, John. I'll tell you what we want. What we want is a top-notch private investigator who is a civilian, who has had undercover experience, and who will not be recognized by foreign agents.
Well, I've never really thought of myself as the James Bond type.
Come on, don't be modest. You're qualified. You worked undercover in Statesville Prison, rescued Dorian Lord. We're well aware of all of your accomplishments. And your family.
Well, I thought you held that against me.
Oh, come on, John. I may disagree with you from time to time. I may even resent the fact that you delight in calling me Charlie. But I'll tell you something, John. I can trust you. And I believe you will do one hell of a job on this.
Now, wait a minute. I haven't said I'll take the job.
John, we are talking national security here. Now, I have taken the liberty of setting up a briefing for you in Washington, and you have to leave immediately.
Hey, give me a break, will you? For the first time in my life, I put down a few roots. Now you want me to yank them up?
Is it the money? We'll pay you handsomely.
No, it's not the money. There's no amount of money worth turning my life upside down right now.
Well, and what about the lives of every American man, woman, and child? Is that worthwhile?
I thought we were talking about a jewel heist.
John, I haven't told you everything yet. If Colonel Dimitri is not stopped, your new idyllic life with Dorian and maybe everybody's American way of life will go right up in smoke.
Oh, come on. It can't be that serious.
Trust me, John, it is that serious. Now, you have a choice here. You can choose the illusion of security, or you can choose to fight for what every American is supposed to believe in.
Save the flag waving, Charlie. Just tell me the rest of it. All of it.
I'm telling you, I know that letter was mailed. Well, maybe somebody else in your office received it. Yeah, you bet I could tell you what it was all about. I want a full investigation into that 2,000 acres of prime real estate that my pa, Al Roberts, left to me and my ma. Look, can I get back to you on this? Thank you.
Honey, I tried to catch up with you, but you left Aces so fast.
Well, I'm real glad you caught up with me, Tina. Because maybe you can give me a straight answer for once in your life. Now, did you or did you not mail that letter I gave to you?
I'm glad you called.
You must feel as if I've deserted you.
No, I'm not your responsibility.
I know that you moved in with Mary Lynn and Tom because my apartment was bombed.
Oh, gosh, it sure looks great.
It's getting there. It still needs some finishing touches, but at least I'm back home again.
So, you want me to move back in?
Actually, I'm going to be getting another roommate. Jonathan.
Oh. So, you guys are really getting serious, huh? Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Actually, it's going to be a sort of one night at a time kind of thing. It's okay with me because after a while he'll figure out that he's spending every night here and it isn't hurting him. And anyway.
Well, yeah, anyway, you don't need me hanging around. And, well, Mr. Dennison has made it very clear that I'm more than welcome to stay there, so don't you worry about it.
But I do worry about you, though. We're going to have to spend a lot of time together, and we've got to make some plans about your future.
Well, I know one thing for sure. I have absolutely no interest in going to college. You know, Mary Lynn keeps hoping that I'll catch her fever about it, but I just don't. Oh, don't get me wrong. I do have a lot of drive. I mean, that's the reason I left home.
You never did tell me the circumstances of why you... All right. I won't press you. What kind of things are you interested in? What would you like to do in your life?
Everything. Too bad I just can't snap my fingers and make it happen, right?
Oh, excuse me. Hello, Diane.
Hey.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hello.
Welcome home.
Thank you. There's something I'd better tell you first.
So what's the answer, Tina? Did you or did you not mail that letter to my lawyer in El Paso?
Of course I mailed it. What are you accusing me
I'm
of?
not accusing you of anything, Tina. Now, people forget things. Maybe you just forgot to mail that letter.
That was the whole reason I went out, remember?
Yeah, well, I also remember seeing you at Asa Buchanan's today, Tina. What was that all about, huh? Could it have anything to do with the fact that we might be living off his money right now?
Well, Briggs, I'll tell you what. I think Anderson should cover it. Is he free? Good. Sweetheart.
You were certainly up and out of the house very early this morning.
Well, I thought you were sleeping. I didn't want to disturb you. I know you haven't been sleeping that well lately.
Maybe you just didn't want to face me. Maybe you had a guilty conscience, maybe?
And your conscience is clear?
What does that mean?
It means that you might believe Nikki Smith is gone for good, but if you don't try and bring her out through hypnosis, how can you be sure?
Why can't you just trust me on this?
Because our baby's life might depend on it. Sound cruel.
No, it is cruel. My God, Clint.
Vicky, I love you. I love you more than anything in this world. You must know that. So you must also know that before I'd say anything like that, I have to believe that it's a possibility.
You know, I feel like you're trying to force me into your own nightmare.
My own nightmare? My own nightmare? What does that mean?
You believe that Nikki Smith came back because I found out that you had a grown son. I mean, yes, it was a shock, but it wasn't that awful. I felt that it was a gift. I felt you had a gift walking around that you didn't even know about. But no, because you fear Nikki so much and are so afraid of what she's capable of, you've decided to hang on to this one shred of evidence, these few stupid hairs from a red wig, to push this issue. And you are pushing me to doubt my sanity when I have absolutely no doubts about my sanity. No, I don't want your arms around me. You don't want to hold two people, do you?
What are you afraid of? Honey, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that maybe hypnosis will prove that you weren't cured, that Nikki isn't gone, and then you're going to have to face that fact?
No, absolutely not.
Then, damn it, do it! If Nikki Smith doesn't exist, then she can't come out under hypnosis, can she? But at least we'll know. And at least the police can drop that theory.
I already know. I don't need hypnosis to prove it. You need the proof.
Yes, I do. I do. Because if Nikki Smith is still within you, I want a chance to talk to her. I want to ask her if she kidnapped our baby. And if she did, what did she do with her? Where is she? Now, is that so much to ask? A couple hours with a psychiatrist?
How can you say something like that as if I don't love our baby as much as you do? As if my grief over her were any less than yours is?
Because I am a father who sees one tiny chance, one small ray of hope that maybe I can recover my daughter. Now, desperate? Quite possibly. Wrong? Very likely. But not to even try? It's pride, Vicky. Pride and ego are making you say no to hypnosis, Vicky, when you should be guided by love and concern for Jessica.
Well, is there anything I can do?
Cord, just take it easy, all right? When you're mad at me like this, it really hurts. So just take it out on the post office instead of me, all right?
Tina, I'm sorry, but it just really bugs me that lawyer never got that letter. Tina. Now, come on. I said I'm sorry, all right? Okay.
It's a little better. Now, as to why we ran into each other at Asa's, I was there because Pamela thinks that the marriage is over with.
Yeah? Well, maybe they should just get a divorce then, huh?
Well, that's the weirdest thing. You see, he made her want one, so she asked for one, and now he won't give her a divorce.
Which just goes to show you what kind of a rattlesnake Asa Buchanan can really be. Oh, I'll get that. It's probably my mom.
You called her?
Yeah, Tina, I haven't even talked to her about any of this inheritance stuff yet. Hi, Mom.
Hello, honey bunch.
Come on in.
Okay. Oh, hi, Tina.
Hello, Maria.
Look, why don't you have a seat, Ma, because we've got some heavy talking to do. Tina, maybe you can find something else to do. I'm sure you don't want to sit and listen to all this stuff again, do you?
Oh, I don't mind. Really, I don't. In fact, honey, I know how much this whole conversation hurts you, so I'm going to sit right here so I can help you through it.
All right, you two. What is going on?
Well, Ma, it's about that inheritance that Pa supposedly left us.
Well, what about it?
I've been thinking, and I think that it really came from Asa Buchanan.
Why would you think that, son?
Oh, come on. That land is just like dropped out of the sky. Like a big secret out of Pa's past. Now, you and I both know that that's not the way he operated. And besides, you told me that you were real skeptical about it at first, too.
Yeah, I did find it a bit odd.
Yeah, but you went to El Paso to check it out, didn't you?
Yeah, but not extensively. Now, you just scratched the surface, right? I mean, you didn't dig any deeper than that.
No, actually, I didn't.
All right, well, look. I've been trying to get in touch with our lawyers to let them know what's happening here. I wrote them a letter, and I asked Tina to put it in the mail, but I guess for some reason it never got there. Well, the trouble is, I can't go right now because I've got too many commitments at the Banner, and I want to be around for Clint and Vicky if they should need me. But you could go.
Well, I could. Well, I mean, I'm not real busy right now or anything.
No, Tina, I think you should stay here in case Vicky should need you for anything. So what do you say, Mom? Will you go to El Paso's and will you sit with them and make sure they check this thing out thoroughly?
Well, I guess I could.
Oh, that's terrific, Mom. And can you go as soon as possible, today even?
Well, Cord, I'm sure it can wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess it could. Look, I need to be running off right now. I'm supposed to take pictures of that convention downstairs in the ballroom, then I gotta run the pictures over to the Banner. But I will call our lawyers from downstairs, and I'll let them know that you're on your way, all right?
All right.
I love you, Mom. Love you too, honey.
Love you. I'll see you later.
Okay, I won't be long. Thank you again, Ma, so much.
You never sent that letter to the attorney, did you, Tina?
Dad?
Just 1 second, son. Right, what is it? I'm up to my eyeballs in this crisis thing.
What crisis now? Wait, confidential. You won't, can't hear about it until it hits the news, right?
Hopefully this one will never hit the news.
Well, can you at least tell me what you did with Uncle John? I mean, did you get him off my case?
Yes, Jamie, I got him off your case. He'll be leaving the country shortly. I'm sending him to Mendora.
Dad, you're kidding. I can't believe it. You're a genius.
No, actually, the situation called for a top-notch undercover man. Your Uncle John is qualified. It just happens to be splendid timing.
You are really something else. I mean it. You're the greatest.
Please, son, if that's what I was, I wouldn't be sticking my neck out trying to save yours.
You up to something in here?
Is something wrong?
Depends on your point of view.
This seems like a private conversation.
It is a bit. Would you mind waiting in the guest room?
Look, I've got a bunch of errands to run anyway, so, I'll see you later. I'll call before I come back.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you in a little bit.
Okay.
I hope she's right, that there's a reason she'd have to call first. Come on, John. You want to explain what's going on to me?
Yeah, I've got to leave town today. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be back.
Is there something you're trying to tell me?
Just that I have this assignment that I couldn't refuse.
Oh, an assignment that you couldn't refuse that was going to keep you away from me on the first night of our new commitment together?
Dorian, I don't think you understand.
You're right. I don't understand. So who is this big, important client that you couldn't refuse for me?
The government. And they're a little hard to turn down. Briefed on a certain international situation.
Which one?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you mean you don't trust me?
I didn't say that. You said that. I'm sworn to secrecy.
Oh, I'm sure that Charles whispers sweet little state secrets in Judith's ear before they go to bed.
Maybe so, Dorian, but that's a little different.
Oh, is it different because they're married and you and I just have a sort of maybe-if, slightly kind of commitment?
I should have known that you would see this as me trying to back out on our arrangement.
John, it's kind of hard not to.
That's not true. Where do you come up with this warped logic? Dorian, do you remember we were sitting here on the couch having a fun time when the phone rang and Charles asked me to come over?
Yes, I do remember, John. Was that a prearranged phone call?
When I got there, he told me that he needed my services for this crisis. I argued with him about it, but he insisted. And after finding out the importance of the mission, well...
Mission? As in you're going to be in danger?
As in, I'm doing a job for my country.
That sounds very dangerous to me.
Don't you go talking to me about danger. You risked your life about 20 times in Statesville, as I
Yeah, but I had you there to protect me. Who's going to protect you?
I can take care of myself. Now, I'll be back just as soon as I possibly can. I mean, Charles said it wouldn't take long.
Charles. Do you know, it suddenly occurs to me that maybe Charles is just trying to get you out of the country so that you can't continue your investigation into his son's involvement with the crack ring and the murder?
I don't think so.
John, it's all too convenient. Are you really the only private detective in this country who can handle this case?
Well, it does have a little something to do with my abilities and my looks.
Your looks? Oh, what is it? They need somebody as handsome as you are so that you can go around seducing ladies for the glory and safety of our country?
No, that has nothing to do with it. More like the color of my eyes, where my nose is on my face, characteristics like that.
Speaking of noses, I think the whole thing stinks. No, John, not just his offering, but you're accepting. And please don't try and distract me. I'm really very hurt, and well, don't try to... All right. Maybe you can. For just a moment.
Not at all, darling. We were just discussing the crisis in Mandora.
I didn't know you were interested in that.
Thanks, Mom. What are you saying? I haven't got the brains of a doorknob? I can't understand?
No, I just am surprised that you took interest in it.
Well, maybe there's a lot of things you don't know about me, huh?
Jamie, I'm...
Good job, Judith.
Were you really discussing Mandora?
Yes, and he was really interested. Got no encouragement from you.
Well, you can't blame me. I have a right to be shocked.
Darling, I think maybe you're going to have to change your ways a little bit. I mean, if you want him to grow up and become that new person you want him to be, you're going to have to stop treating him like a child.
That would be a lot easier if his name didn't keep coming up in the investigation on Dan Warlick.
I'm sorry, I don't really know what to say, as you might have gathered from all the silence.
And, from the pain on your face.
I feel so stunned and so betrayed by my husband. I feel like I should be sitting here sobbing and I can't cry. I feel like he's knocked the very soul out of me. I can't seem to think, I can't speak. I know that I should be thinking, though. Because I know that he loves me. He's proved it so many times.
What happened, Vicky?
Clint believes that I turned into Nicky Smith and I kidnapped my own daughter. Or at least he thinks there's a good possibility that that happened.
Yes, I know. Yesterday, after you left, he argued that I knew nothing about Nicky Smith. He was quite right. He also said that he thought it would be quite possible for Nicky Smith to take your baby.
The bottom line, Tom, is that he won't believe that I know I'm cured, that there is no more Nicky Smith.
I'm sure you're right.
We had a terrible argument about it last night. I was very hurt, very angry. And then I walked in here this morning and he started in on me all over again. He wants me to undergo hypnosis to try and bring Nicky Smith out. And I refused, so he walked out of here. I mean, I know he was hurt. It was hard for him to say all those things, but I feel like I'm being attacked right now. He has never, ever treated me like that. He has never spoken to me that harshly. And I suppose that means I really should consider whether or not what he says is true. Maybe I am a coward.
Oh, Vicki, one thing you are not is a coward.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, Tom. You have no idea how frightening the idea is to me that Nicky Smith could still be a part of me. You have no understanding of the fear and the loathing that I have for her.
Well, that's why I know she no longer exists. And why I can't understand, Clint thinks she does.
Well, he doesn't want to. Or at least that's what he says. But he's desperate. And then he said that it was very unfair of me not to undergo the hypnosis, that I had put my own pride, my own fear above my daughter's life. I don't know, maybe he's right.
Oh, Vicki, you would never do a thing like that.
I don't know. Wouldn't I? If I really was afraid that Nicky had come back, that she was going to move in and take over again? What if she did take Jessica? I mean, what if Jessica is helpless someplace?
And what if you do undergo this hypnosis, and you manage to bring Nicky Smith out, and you discover that she's innocent, but she won't go away? What then?
Oh, God, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Destroyed that letter. Cord deserves that money. You think I'm just going to sit back and watch him give it back to Asa? No, he's just upset right now, so he's just not thinking too clearly.
You don't know your husband. Even if he weren't angry, he would still want to give that land back.
All right, then, so we just have to change his mind, or we have to make sure he doesn't find out the money's from Asa.
We do? Tina, why don't you just admit that if Cord throws that money in Asa's face, Asa's going to throw him the truth. And then Cord will know that it was not a goodwill gesture from his grandfather, but that it was blackmail money from his loving wife.
All right, let's just forget for a moment that maybe I blackmailed Asa, or maybe what I really did is get Cord what he rightfully deserves, all right? But just see, if Cord gives back that money to Asa wins again.
That is another rationalization.
Is it? Cord was unrightfully denied his heritage, his money as a Buchanan. Look, and that little slight has been rectified by me. Thank you very much. Now, if Asa gets back that money from Cord, Asa is going to be thrilled. He's going to put it right in the bank. And what about you then, huh? Don't you need money to survive, Maria? Or maybe you would like being a waitress, huh? Maybe it would make you happy to see Cord working 2 jobs in order to support all those kids he wants us to raise.
Or perhaps you could work as a waitress somewhere. You love Cord enough and the little kids to pitch in and help, don't you? All right, now, look, this is silly. Obviously, I agree that Cordero deserves the money. Otherwise, I would have given it back to Asa in the first place. But when Cord finds out the truth, there is nothing that you and I can do.
Well then, Maria, you and I are going to make sure that he doesn't do that, aren't we?
Clint?
Oh, Cord.
What are you doing here? I was expecting to see you over the banner.
Well, I couldn't take it there any longer, and I couldn't face going home, so here I am.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I'm not sure you're going to want to sit there, Cord. I'm kind of looking for a whipping boy, I think, and I don't think it should be my long-lost son.
Yeah, well, if my long-lost father's looking for a punching bag, I'm willing to volunteer. Is it Jessica?
No. I want her to do it, and I don't want her to do it. And I got mean and nasty trying to force her to do it. And yet there's a very big part of me that hopes she stands up to me and just tells me to go straight to hell.
Clint, you want to tell me what you're talking about here?
Vicky, my wife. I insulted her. I did everything but call her an uncaring, unfit mother. What do you think of Clint Buchanan now? Quite a nice fella, isn't he?
It's just so complicated. It's so frightening.
Well, Becky, let's just go over it a step at a time, shall we? Perhaps I can be a little more objective than Clint can at this point.
Well, I'm beginning to see that the main barrier to hypnosis is my own feeling that I would be betraying myself, my sense of myself, my self-respect. Because by doing it, I would be admitting that there is a chance, and everything in me knows that there is no more Nikki Smith. And if she doesn't exist, how could she possibly know where Jessica is?
All right, now let me take Clint's position for a minute here. Let's say there was a chance, just the slightest chance. Now, what is important here? How you feel about yourself or the baby?
How can you say such a thing?
I'm not taking sides. No, we were just talking this through. We're looking for answers, that's all.
Well, then we're right back to pride, aren't we? And my stubbornly insisting that I couldn't possibly be wrong. I don't think he'll ever forgive me if I don't do this for him, though.
Will you forgive him if you compromise yourself by doing what he wants you to do?
I have any idea what that man went through for me. How he tried to pull me out of Nikki to bring me back. Do you know, if it weren't for his very constant and unwavering love, I probably still would be Nikki Smith. I mean, that man literally went to hell and back for me.
I see. So, well, maybe it is worth compromising yourself and doing what he wants you to do. Is that what you're saying?
I guess it is. I mean, I know he's going to find out that he's wrong, and he's going to feel just terrible about putting me through all this, but at the same time, I know that he's only doing it because he's desperate. And at the same time, oh, God, if we find out that Nikki does still exist, then we have to know for sure, because then I have to be in treatment.
Well, sounds to me like you've made your decision.
I think I have. Yes, I have. I have. Clint told me that he talked to a psychiatrist at Landview Hospital. Dr. Ireland. Maybe he can see me today.
Obviously, you have a plan all worked out.
Oh, I think Cord already worked it out for us. You go down to El Paso, you get a little sun, you see some old friends, you come back and tell them the inheritance is perfectly legitimate.
Tina, you can lie that easily. I can't. I'm not in the habit of lying to my son.
Come on, Maria, you've been lying to him for 20-some-odd years. Look, I didn't say that to be nasty.
Tina, you know that this secret is going to come back to haunt the both of us.
Well, I'm willing to take that chance.
Obviously, you've been taking it for months.
Look, he loves me. He's not going to let that come between our relationship.
You really don't know your husband at all. You're much too smug about your ability to keep him, and you're much too casual about his sense of right and wrong.
Maria, what we have to concern ourselves with right now is that Cord does not find out. Because if he does, Cord is going to have to struggle the rest of his life, and Asa Buchanan will win once more.
All right. All right, I will think of something, but I can tell you this. It's not going to be some blatant lie that he won't be able to forgive me for.
Not a real pretty picture, is it?
Now listen, Vicky is going to understand this, and she's going to let it go, all right? Do you want me to talk to her?
No.
Oh, come on, I was having a real nice conversation with her yesterday. I told her that I supported her belief in the fact that Nicky Smith was gone for good.
Oh, great. That helps a lot.
Listen, I'll just tell her that I thought it through, and I think maybe she should go along with this hypnosis thing. For the same reason that you cited before. You know, if there's the slightest chance of finding Jessica, it's worth it.
Cord, there's something I haven't told you. We stand a risk of losing Vicky for good.
This is also hard for me to comprehend. I mean, Vicky being herself, but not being herself.
I don't know if I could even stand it. And then there's the boys. But damn it, there's a helpless baby out there someplace, and if Nicky's got her, she could even be dead.
I want you to stop talking like that.
Who's feeding?
Now, come on.
I haven't said it out loud before. I've just said she needs attention, you know. But it's true. She could be dead.
No, it's not true.
Well, we're not going to know that for sure unless Vicky tries to find Nicky. Now, are we? I can't sit here any longer. I got to try and find her, see if she's changed her mind.
Yeah, and if she hasn't?
I don't know. I hit her with everything I had before, the whole 9 yards. I guess there's nothing left to say except... Thanks for talking.
It's all right. Clint, if you ever need me, I'm here.
Thank you. Vicky, Clint is not at the city desk.
Well, I have to go to the hospital. Dr. Ireland said to come right over.
You want me to go with you?
Yes, please. At least as far as the doctor's door, I can't do this alone. I am so scared. I am so frightened. Oh, thank you. I just have to keep remembering that there is a very remote chance that this might lead to us finding our daughter, and that that's the only important thing right now.
That's right. And we'll all be right there with you. Okay?
Okay, let's go. I'll just tell Clint's secretary where I'm going to be.
So I am sit down. Thank you. You said when you called you wanted to talk about the Dan Woltl case?
Yes, I do. From what I understand, you think that Dan is totally innocent.
Yes.
Good, so do I. I think that Dan was framed by a man who now apparently is too dead to talk, Vince Robeson.
Apparently. Is there something that you want to add that we don't know already?
Judith, believe me, I know that you're not going to like this visit, and I can't much blame you for it. And may I say right now, I take no satisfaction or pleasure from it.
I don't know what you're leading up to with this.
Your son, Jamie. I think that he was Vince Robeson's partner in the crack ring and in the murder.
How dare you?
Okay, come on, out with it. Call me names, scream and shout about how wrong I am and how your son is innocent. Let's get that over with. Then settle down and listen to me.
I'll listen, and then I'll tell you what I think.
I'll begin with a few of the facts that you're familiar with. A, Dan and Allison saw Jamie with Vince Robeson at the Backstreet Bar on the day that Susan Bates was murdered. B, Jamie visited Dan's apartment on the day that the police searched his apartment and found the tape hidden behind some books. Not a very clever place to put something that could get you implicated in a murder, right?
That Dan was framed, we agree on. That Jamie would plant those tapes is ludicrous. He's Dan's friend.
He's such a good friend that he didn't even tell you until Dan did that Dan and Allison were at the Backstreet Bar and that she could have lost that charm.
Jamie is not a very communicative kid, but he didn't deny it when he was asked.
Oh, come on, he was caught. How could he deny it?
Look, do you have anything more to add? Get to it, because you're about to head for the door.
Jeannie Johnson.
Yes.
Have you heard of her? She's an inmate who was released from Statesville.
Yes, I know.
She was one of the women who was working at the crack factory. She might have seen Vince Robeson and his partner during one of those long, awful nights.
You haven't even asked her.
How can I? She has suddenly left town, and I don't know how to reach her. The point is that she phoned Herb. She sounded terribly upset, and she said that she had to see him.
I went with Herb to the Waterside Inn, and I saw Jeannie there talking to guess who? Your son, Jamie. They were very deeply involved in a conversation, and then when he saw us, he quickly left. Jeannie then pretended, and not very well, that all she wanted to do was say goodbye because she was leaving town to go to Hawaii. Can you believe it? This was a woman I was looking for a job for at WVLE because she was so broke. All of this happened, this is important, so listen up, in the space of 2 hours. I think that your son, Jamie, paid her to leave town and, in fact, threatened her in the process.
That's it, I'm not listening to anymore. You may have a very active imagination, Dorian, but that doesn't mean that my son is involved with a murder or with a crack ring.
Judith, at every turn your son has been involved in this, and each time there's some sort of flaky excuse as to how or why.
These are circumstances and coincidences.
Yes, if you had had evidence like this when you were trying me for murder, I'd have gotten the electric chair.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the Mitch Lawrence trial, because that's why you're trying to implicate my son, isn't it?
That is nonsense. Dan is innocent. Your son is guilty.
I want you out of my house.
Fine. But I want you to give what I have just told you some serious thought. Because if you think what I have just told you is outrageous, I'm going to come up with an even more outrageous conclusion. And that is that you're defending Dan is only a ploy to protect your son. Goodbye.
Get out.
I was just leaving.
Ma? Hi, what are you still doing here? It's great to see you. While I was gone, you and Tina have a nice little, visit?
Oh, for a while, but then she had to run off and do some errands. I've been sitting here thinking and waiting for you to get back.
Here I am. What's up?
Cord, I'm not going to El Paso to investigate the land that Al left us.
Oh, Ma.
I can't do it. And part of the reason is because I don't want to know the answer.
Why?
Because I prefer to believe that Al just left us a wonderful surprise. Cord, I don't think he was totally predictable, and I think he was capable of keeping the land a secret.
Yeah? Well, what if the land really came from Asa Buchanan, Ma?
Look, I hate him and you hate him, but that doesn't mean that it did, Cord. Now, other than buying my mother off, he has never contributed 1 cent to your upbringing, so why should he suddenly start now?
Why? I'll tell you why, Ma. He knew that eventually the secret was going to come out, and he was trying to pay me off beforehand.
He is not that generous.
Oh, come on. You were suspicious about this yourself.
I was. But that was before. My suspicions disappeared after I went to El Paso and I investigated.
But you didn't investigate fully.
Cord, listen to me. Now, I've started to make peace with Al's death. I mean, I'm accepting the fact that Al is no longer a part of my life. Now, you have a new life, you're happily married, you're going to, well, you're trying to have a child, and you've even discovered that you have a father in this world. But I only have memories, Cord, and thank God for Al's generosity and his ability to love a 16-year-old pregnant kid with few questions asked. All I have now are those years that I shared with Al and of loving and raising you.
This is great, Mom. Don't make me feel guilty or anything.
Well, I'm sorry, but damn it, I want to believe that Al gave us that land to secure our future. And now let's face it. Asa gave Al and my mother and you and me a much better life than we ever could have had.
Oh, yeah? Well, what would have happened if you had married Clint, Ma? You never know what
Maybe
could
he
have...
wouldn't have married me. Who knows? Cord, I have you and you have Tina. Tina loves money, and she would be desperately unhappy without it. You know that.
Oh, man. Oh.
Cord, let it alone, son. Please. If Asa was behind this money, well, we deserve it. Haven't we had enough sadness and enough mistakes in this life? And if Asa wasn't behind that money, then praise the Lord that Al had enough foresight to protect us.
Okay.
Cord, I love you very much.
Judith, what's the matter?
Charles, Doreen Lloyd was just here, and she point blank accused Jamie of being involved with Vince Robertson and the crack ring.
Oh, come on.
And then she said that Jamie paid Jeannie Johnson to get out of town because she knew about it.
That's ridiculous.
I wish I was sure of that.
It's not true.
Clint is not going to get here in time, is he?
Well, Vicky, what happens between you and the psychiatrist has nothing to do with whether or not Clint is here. Hypnosis will or will not bring Nicky Smith out.
Yes, I know you're right about that. I guess I just hate it that he's out there somewhere thinking that I don't have the courage to do this.
Mrs. Buchanan, Dr. Ireland is ready for you now.
Would you like me to come with you?
No. Thank you very much for everything.
Tom, Vicky's just gone in to the doctor.
She changed her mind? She's going through with the hypnosis?
Well, that's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Oh, thank you. Maria? Oh, Tina, I was beginning to think you didn't get my message.
Oh, no, I got it all right, and I rushed right over here. Did you talk to Cord?
Obviously, you didn't see him.
No, he was gone when I got there. Well, what happened? Is he going to stop this investigation on the land?
I think so. He agreed, but I didn't give him very much choice.
Well, what'd you say? How'd you do it?
By making him feel as guilty as possible, Tina, by telling him he'd be a terrible son if he went through with it. I told him that he shouldn't dig into the past, but that he should think more about his future with you. You might say that I was pretty hard on him.
So it's all over then? We can relax?
No, I didn't say that. I know my son, and he'll be thinking about it because he's very honorable. And this bothers him a lot.
Yeah, but you stalled him. And now I can stall him a little bit more, Maria. Thank you.
I don't want your thanks, Tina. The main reason I asked you to come here is because I have something to tell you. Something you are not going to like.
Can't tell you how surprised I was to get the message. When did Vicky go in there?
A few minutes ago.
Oh, then it'll give me a chance to talk to her.
Hey, hold it. No talk. The decision has been made. She's under hypnosis. Don't you go barging in, okay?
Oh, wait a minute, Tom. She's my wife. Don't you go telling me what to do and what not to do when it comes to her.
Clint.
Your husband and I had a lengthy phone conversation about this. Fortunately, I was a colleague of Marcus Pope's, and on occasion, he would consult me about your case.
Well, that's certainly a relief. I mean, we can just go ahead and do this then, and I don't have to fill you in on any details about Nikki, right? You know, Dr. Island, I really have to tell you right up front that I don't believe she exists anymore, and I think this is a total waste of time. However, since my husband seems to believe that there is a slim possibility that Nikki stole our daughter from her nursery.
You're submitting to this procedure.
Yes.
I understand, Mrs. Buchanan. I'm very sorry your daughter is still missing, that this has become necessary. If you would lie down on the chaise, please. You do understand that I have to record this session for the police.
Nancy, I have a feeling that your mother isn't going to like this at all.
I have qualms about it myself, but I have no choice.
All right, Judith. Now, even though I am positive that Jeannie Johnson's abrupt departure from Llanview has absolutely nothing at all to do with Jamie, I will locate the girl and find out for sure.
I don't know where she is in Hawaii, neither does Dorian.
Well, I'll use my contacts in Washington and have her tracked down.
I'm the one that has to talk to her, not you.
Why? We both have the same goal. That's to clear up these unfounded suspicions.
Why do I always have a feeling these suspicions are not unfounded?
Because you have a tendency, darling, to think the worst of Jamie.
I do not. That's not...
Let me finish. That's your tendency, okay? Then you find out it's not true, and you get mildly surprised. I don't know, maybe it's a defense mechanism. I don't know, but our son is not involved with drugs. He is not making his living by having kids addicted to crack, and he's certainly not an accomplice to murder. Come on.
It's unbearable to think about, but I can't ignore the fact that Jamie's on the fringes of
Judith,
the
you
case.
have not ignored it. You've questioned the boy several times.
And why? Why do I always feel that he is not telling me the truth? Why?
Because you are listening to Dorian Lord.
I don't care about her motivations. I've got to talk to Jeannie Johnson.
All right. Do me a favor. Just hold off. Let me handle it, all right? At least give me time to try to locate the Johnson girl.
Excuse me, has anyone heard from Kate? I keep leaving messages for her at the inn.
I haven't.
No, she hasn't called here. Jamie, can I talk to you for a minute in private?
Katie.
Hi. 2 messages from the brat. When do you want to bet he wants to hit me for a loan because Mom and Dad have refused to advance him his allowance?
Maybe so. Listen, I'm kind of in a hurry. Sit down over here and tell me why you called.
Oh, great. You're squeezing me in between appointments. Or is it rendezvous with lovers?
It's 1 appointment and 1 lover.
What about this evening? You free then?
I'm going out of town.
Oh, for how long?
I'm not sure. Week, maybe 2.
How come?
Business.
Whew, you are really communicative today, John.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, it's exactly what we're talking about. Jonathan, I overheard the discussion you were having with my father about your trip to Washington and all that.
Kate, that was a private discussion between your father and me. I can only guess you were eavesdropping.
I'm not denying that.
Well, why? I mean, there's no endangered species problem in Mendora, is there?
Yeah, well, this whole thing is a little bigger than Mendora, isn't it?
How long were you outside that door listening?
Unfortunately, not long enough. That's why I have to ask you these questions.
I'm getting no answers, because it is none of your business, my nosy little niece.
John, why are you involved in this? My father doesn't like you, and you can barely stand him. Suddenly you're working together on an international problem?
Because I was called into the service of my country. And for reasons I cannot and will not divulge. The end.
Isn't it dangerous?
Come on. Look, I've got to catch a plane. I've got to say goodbye to Dorian. I've got to see your father. I'll see you when I get back.
Jonathan, please don't go on this assignment.
Oh, Clint, wait a minute. Come on, just a minute, will you? I'm not trying to tell you how to deal with your wife. I was with her this afternoon. She went through hell before she made the decision to do this thing, in spite of the fact she knows Nicky Smith no longer exists.
I know that, Tom. It took a lot out of both of us to get Vicky to think beyond that. Obviously, it worked. She's here. Within an hour, we'll have an answer. Frankly, I don't know what to root for.
Yeah, I know you're concerned about the baby.
Yes, because if Nicky Smith didn't take her, then we're right back to square one. Anyway, what was your point before I go in there?
No point. Just trying to calm you down before you went barreling in there, that's all. I'm not sure the doctor will let you see her anyway.
I just want Vicky to know that I'm here to support her, Tom.
Yeah.
And that's when Clint woke me up with the horrible news that our daughter was gone.
Come in.
Clint.
Excuse my interrupting.
It's all right. She hasn't been hypnotized yet. Go ahead and take a few moments.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came.
I just had to tell you that I love you very much. And I'm sorry about things I said earlier.
Oh, it's all right. I understand why you had to say them.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I feel like such a louse for doubting you, honey, for forcing you.
Well, at least we'll clear up all doubts one way or the other, right?
We should begin, Vicky.
Doctor, may I stay?
It would really be better if you didn't.
I'll be very quiet.
Please, Dr. Ireland, if you wouldn't mind, I really would like him to stay. I'd feel much safer, much easier about the whole thing if he were here.
All right, let me sit over here.
Thank you. Can you make it so that I can remember all of this when it's over?
Yes. If you would lie back, please. And close your eyes. Good. Now just try to relax your entire body. Put your hands on your lap and take a deep breath. Good. And let the tension just flow out of your body. Now, I want you to open your eyes and focus your entire attention on this object. Good. Concentrate. And your eyes are becoming heavier and heavier. Good. Very good.
Tina, I have let you draw me into your manipulations, but that's over. Now, I'm warning you. If Cord decides he does not want to go to El Paso, I am not going to change his mind. So you're going to have to find a way to keep yourself in furs and jewels with Ace's money.
Seems to me you have a lot of Ace's money in the bank, too, Maria.
But I am willing to give it up and you're not. Okay, are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you managed to get pregnant yet?
No.
Tina, you knew Nikki Smith, and you even helped her there for a while, didn't you?
Maria, you shouldn't believe everything that you read in the National Intruder.
What about your testimony at the Mitch Lawrence murder trial? Shouldn't I believe that?
Do you have some point to all this?
Yes. Yes, Cordero is angry with me because he feels that I believe Clint when he says that Nikki Smith is back. Now, we're newcomers to this, and, well, I would like your opinion.
I don't know. I guess it's possible. I mean, what am I saying? I'm the woman who saw that woman in the nursery, and she reminded me of Nikki Smith just like that. But then on the other hand, I mean, Nikki never comes out unless Vicky's under a lot of stress, and she certainly doesn't seem like she's on the verge of a breakdown.
And as I understand it, Clint, or Nikki divorced Clint?
Yeah, that's right. But then she fell in love with him later. You know, that's how he got Vicky back. It was through love. I mean, I saw the whole thing, but believe me, things were pretty terrible around here. And I'm so glad that I have my sister back. And I really hope that she never goes away again. Now, do we have anything else to discuss?
No, no. I just wanted to make sure that you understand how I feel.
Oh, I do, Maria. You see, you are going to play the wonderful, righteous mother, while I'm left to battle for your wealth.
Mr. Dennison? Allison Perkins.
Oh, yes, Allison, how are you?
I'm fine. Listen, I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear you talking there with Mr. Buchanan. Is Mrs. Buchanan really going to try and bring Nikki back?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Odds are it won't work. If it does, God help us, who knows what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know her that well, but I certainly feel awful about what's happened.
You know, I think some psycho took Jessica. I don't think it had anything to do with Nikki Smith at all. Allison, you work in pediatrics, huh?
Yes.
Well, then every day you see what joy a newborn baby brings to their parents, right? How can anyone possibly take someone else's child?
Oh, it's almost unbelievable, isn't it? Listen, how's Mary Lynn? I wanted to ask you about
Oh, she's
her.
fine, thanks. She's just fine, enjoying college, making new friends.
Good, I'm glad.
Now, it seems you've got your life in shape, too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleased to see that this Mitch Lawrence thing was a passing sickness, not a terminal one.
For the lucky ones, yeah.
Pardon?
Susan Bates. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll get back to the banner. There isn't anything I can do here. There might be something I can do there.
Mr. Dennison, I think they're going to get Jessica back. It maybe is just my instinct, but that's what I think.
Yeah, right. But it won't be because of this business going on in there now. Take care now.
Yes, you too.
And you and Kim put the baby to bed together.
I remember looking around the nursery and thinking what a proud father Clint was. And how wonderful he had been to my boys, Kevin and Joey, during the past few years. And then I thought about Cord, and how Clint didn't even know that there was another young man in the world that belonged to him. And I thought how shocked he was going to be, and how very angry he would be with his father and with Maria. But that how happy he would be eventually.
But Vicky, weren't you upset also? I mean, here you thought you were giving your husband his firstborn, and it turned out not to be the first at all?
I was upset, yes, but only because Clint had been deceived by his father and Maria and her mother, and I knew it would be traumatic for him.
And what other emotions did you feel?
I remember thinking about Cord, and how much I liked him, and how much Clint liked him. And what a very welcome addition he was going to be to our family. He would be my boy's older brother and Jessica's older brother, and all that went through my mind.
Did you find this very painful?
Very painful? No, not at all.
Wasn't there a moment, just a moment, when you felt you couldn't handle it, that you tried to shove it away?
No, I don't think so.
Nikki? Nikki Smith, I'd like to talk to you now. I'd like to know what you felt and did that night.
My son alone, can't I?
Does the son have any say in this?
I thought it would be nice, just the two of us.
Well, look, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I will be up in my den if you need me.
So, what's the big discussion?
Not a big discussion. We just have a problem getting close, you and I thought maybe we... Well, it's probably my fault.
It's not like it's a new problem.
I know. It's been going on for years. Somewhere I got too critical, and then you withdrew from me.
Yeah, well, you're even more critical now than you were before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean it. I just thought maybe we could change our relationship. And now that you're living here, maybe we could try.
Try what? I don't understand. I'm not some kid who needs his mommy.
My fault. My fault. I've been treating you like a child.
Yeah, well, maybe that has something to do with
Well,
it.
not that you haven't given me cause.
There you go. Back to the criticizing again.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I just thought maybe we could give each other a chance now that... Well, your father seems to think that you're going to be interested in going in the family business, and I think that's an indication of throwing off your aimless lifestyle.
You call it aimless. I call it seeing the world. Where is it written that you've got to leave high school, go to college, and sit behind some lousy desk? I mean, why can't fun be part of life's program?
It is. Of course it is. But
Well, not that I see. I mean, between you, Dad, and my sister, you've always been preoccupied with your careers. I mean, Kate knew what she wanted to do before she graduated from kindergarten. You and the law, Dad and his politics.
But you have a valid point. See, we had this gift. We had a calling of some kind, and you don't seem to know what you want to do.
Oh, and I still don't. So I'm ready to give Sanders Enterprises a whirl. We'll see if maybe there's a great businessman lurking beneath his aimless exterior.
Do you know something? I think that in spite of ourselves, we've managed to communicate. And I think that I understand you a little bit more.
Well, let's try to keep it that way, huh?
That's all I want.
I'm gonna go and see if I can find Kate.
Well, why are you trying to reach her?
Well, she's my sister. Do I need a reason?
Katie, what do you make?
I thought I was very explicit. Don't do it.
Why not?
I don't know. Let's just say I have a bad feeling and I don't want anything to happen to my favorite uncle.
When have you been concerned about your favorite uncle? I'm lucky if I get 2 or 3 cards from you from some outback where they're in danger of losing a species.
Well, right now you're one very important species that I don't want endangered.
Katie, what aren't you telling me?
Nothing. It's just all this hush-hush secret stuff between you and my father has got to mean danger to you.
Would you please just drop it? Give me a kiss goodbye, and I'll see you when I get back, all right?
My father doesn't like you, you know.
No. I'm well aware of that.
Look, this is going to sound really horrible. But what if the reason he picked you for this is because it just doesn't matter that much to him if you come back? Please don't ever tell my mother I said that.
Don't worry. I won't tell anybody that you said that. Hey, come on, you don't really believe that your father's out to get me killed. But you are desperately trying to get me not to go there for some reason. Now, I want you to sit down and level with me and tell me exactly what you know and why it bothers you so much.
I don't know anything. It's just fear or women's intuition.
My favorite feminist is now bringing up the old-fashioned notion of women's intuition. That does it. I am going to leave. I'll see you when I get back, which will be real soon. Don't worry.
Sooner than you think, Uncle John.
Nikki Smith, please, I want to talk to you now. What did you do on the night of October 2nd?
Nikki, it's Clint. I want to talk
Please,
to you.
Mr. Buchanan, she can't hear you. Vicky,
Yes?
are you forcing Nikki Smith to hide and remain quiet?
No. There is no Nikki Smith. She's gone. I don't need her anymore.
You're sure about that?
Yes. Nikki is dead. She has disappeared. She does not have a home inside me.
You're positive that she didn't come out just for a few hours on the night of the kidnapping?
No, she did not. Somebody else took our baby. It wasn't Nikki. And I was fine that night. Except I was so tired. I put Jessica to bed and I came down to the library. I had a cup of tea. I was waiting for Clint to come home to tell him about Cord. But I couldn't seem to stay awake and I dozed off. And then the doorbell rang. It was Jeannie Johnson. She was a friend of Nikki's. And then she became a friend of mine, too, and we talked, and then she left, and I went to sleep again. And I remember dreaming, and then Clint was waking me up.
Do you have any doubts about these events as you've related them? Is there any chance that you didn't go to sleep, but instead slipped into your alternate personality?
No. Nikki is no longer a part of me. Why won't you believe me?
At the count of 3, you'll wake up, and you'll remember everything you said. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes, Vicky. Hello there, Vicky.
Roberts, has there been a phone call for me?
Sorry, no.
Oh, thanks. I'm expecting somebody for lunch. I guess he's been delayed. Thanks. Allison?
Yeah, Mrs. Roberts.
Allison, what's the matter?
It's just the Buchanan baby.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing. I was at the hospital and I saw that Mrs. Buchanan was checking in. She was going to go under hypnosis. I just can't believe she would risk her life for her baby.
Oh, Allison, of course she would. When you have children, you'll...
Oh, no, I'm not going to have children. I am not fit to be a mother.
Allison.
Excuse me, please. Doing here, Mother?
Well, your daughter and I came to see you.
Shh. You keep your voice down.
Oh. Nobody around here knows that Mitch Lawrence is the father. I thought this was the lair where you carried on. Wasn't Nancy born here?
What do you want, Mom?
I want you to take responsibility. Oh, sweetheart, you just take responsibility for this baby.
I can't.
You won't come to see her, and this road travels two ways, you know.
You came here, you didn't even call me
Well, why
first.
should I call? You don't even bother to come and see us. Oh, look at her. Isn't
Mommy,
she
I
beautiful?
don't want to look at her right now. Let's just go up to my room, okay?
Are you satisfied, Clint?
Yes. Dr. Ireland, may I please have a private word with my wife?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. You're furious at me, aren't you?
Now that it's over, yes, I guess I am. But I guess the issue is settled.
I'm sorry, Vicki. I'm sorry I doubted your conviction that you were cured. And Nikki gone.
I know it was your last hope.
And now it's gone. So what do we do? Stop hoping?
We cannot stop hoping, but we have to do something.
Could I put my arms around you? Still love me?
Yes, of course I still love you.
I was pretty rough on you earlier.
Yes. But I guess you just did what you had to do. And I came here and I did what I had to do for you. But we're not one step closer to finding our little girl.
What are you thinking?
Clint, it seems to me that whoever took Jessica made sure that she looked like Nikki Smith, just in case anyone saw her.
What are you saying? That we know her?
Oh, no, not necessarily. Lord knows my illness was certainly publicized enough.
But that doesn't help, honey. A wig is very easy to throw away.
We have to do something to find this sick woman. We have to do something.
It's not like we haven't been doing everything we can.
Well, no, that's not true. Not me. I've been sitting around grieving. It's time I did something.
What, run down the street yelling Jessica's name? That's not going to help,
No,
sweetheart.
but you go back to the office and you write a personal appeal to our readers.
I have already done that.
Do it again. Take all the desperation that you feel and you put it into words. Something has to get through to this maniac.
What are you going to do?
I'm going back to the source. I should have confronted her days ago.
Wait, who are you going to see?
I'll call you later.
Well, honey, do you want me to go with you?
No. I can handle this myself.
Oh, Jamie, you scared me.
Well, if you'd returned any of my calls, maybe you would have expected me.
I'm sorry, I just haven't had time. So what's up? Or rather, how much?
How much what?
Well, let's see, you couldn't get any money from Mom or Dad and Grands in Europe, so you're Hitting me up.
I happen to be hitting you up to go halves with me on an anniversary present for Mom and Dad.
Oh, that's right, next week. Well, look, they've never been big about celebrating the years rolling by.
I know,
I'm
but
hearing...
they're trying, so I think it's something we ought to encourage, don't you?
Well, of course.
So, let's go shopping and find them a great present.
Look, Jamie, I really don't have time to go shopping, and I don't know if I'm even going to be here next week.
Where are you off to now? I thought you were going to hang around for a while.
Well, my plans changed. Look, why don't you get something for them, and then if I'm around next week, we can go and give it to them together, okay?
So, when are you leaving?
I don't know. I was on hold when you interrupted me.
Oh, well, don't let me interrupt your busy life for more than 5 minutes.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. I was just...
Yeah, I know.
Hi, it's Kate Sanders. Is he... Good. Hi. Listen, I did everything I could to get my uncle to drop this assignment, but he won't do it. Okay, he's going to Washington tonight, and I'll follow him and see what I can learn.
You came. I was going to call you.
Tone implies a very unpleasant subject.
It is an unpleasant subject. It's Dorian.
Dorian?
She came here a few hours ago, and if you heard what she said, you would never speak to her again.
What are you talking about?
She waltzed in here and made all sorts of accusations about Jamie, how she connected him to the crack ring and to Susan Bates's murder.
She told me that she wouldn't do that because she didn't have enough proof.
Are you saying that you knew about her suspicions?
Yes, Judith, I did.
And you didn't tell me? You don't care enough about this family and my son to tell me?
Would you please just sit down a minute? Sit. Judy, look. Yes, I love you. I love Kate. Charles, and Jamie, I have tried to care about, but he's always acted like such a spoiled rich kid that...
You know what you're saying to me?
Judith, come on. You must have at least wondered about it yourself. I mean, I know you too well. As a lawyer, all of these flaky excuses and omissions, that had to bother you. But as a mother, you've simply been dismissing them all as outrageous.
Well, it is outrageous. I can't believe that. I can't believe he'd be involved with a murder.
No one's saying that he murdered Susan Bates. I mean, Vince Robeson's already admitted that to Dan Woollett. But maybe, just maybe, he's got a little bit more knowledge of things and he's not telling us.
I can't take this.
You're just crying not because of what I'm saying. You're crying because you know the chance exists that it's true.
No, it's a... Yes, there's a chance. There's a chance. But that's as far as I'll go.
But you have to consider the possibilities. I mean, let's face it, I was hoping that I could break it to you gently once I had a little bit more evidence. I'm sorry.
You're more than suspicious. You believe it, don't you?
I'm not certain, but yeah, I'm having a hard time believing Jamie's innocence. I think you're having a hard time, too.
Right now, I wish I weren't defending Dan Woollett. I wish I weren't in the middle of this, because I have to make my flesh and blood guilty to prove Dan innocent.
Hi, John. Judith?
Charles?
Something wrong?
No, just talking till you were free.
Listen, can we get this over with as soon as possible?
Sure. I'll meet you up in my den.
I've got to go out of town for a little bit. I'm sorry, it's kind of lousy timing.
Well, maybe when you come back, it'll all be worked out.
I hope so, sweetie. I really do.
Tina!
Oh, Rick,
Nobody in Landview walks the way you do. Now come over here, I want to talk to you.
What? You seem angry.
Yes, I am. I've just come from a rather humiliating experience, all to prove that Nicky Smith no longer exists. Hypnosis found only one person in this body, Tina. Now, why did you start that?
I didn't start this.
You most certainly did. You were the one who supposedly saw some woman in the hospital nursery in a red wig and a flashy dress.
That's right. I saw that woman in the nursery where I knew she shouldn't be, and I called out to her, and she just left. And then they found those strands of red hair in your nursery?
Yes, I know that. And that got Larry and the police and my husband to thinking that Nicky Smith had come back and stolen our baby. Do you know what you have done?
I can't believe this. You know, I really can't believe that I am the villain again. Look, Lisa Barron was on duty that night. I told her because I thought somebody on the staff ought to know about this woman. And then Lisa told Larry, Larry told the police, and the police went to me. I did not go to them.
I'm going to ask you this just one time, because I have to.
All right? Anything.
By any chance are you making this up?
What?
You have a penchant for destructive actions, Tina.
Vicky, how could you ever possibly think that I could do
You
that?
have done a lot of things that I never thought you could.
Vicky, I swear to you, on my husband's life and on our father's grave, that I saw a woman who reminded me of Nicky Smith, and it scared me. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did this.
She should be with her mother. You know, I question the way I raised you. And you work in pediatrics? Why, how can you be so insensitive to a baby? She's all yours. I want you to have her.
I can't. I just can't.
Why not?
I told you, I put her up for adoption.
And there was no reason to. I said that I would take care of her, and you wouldn't allow that.
Mom, the only reason this baby is even part of this family is because of Mitch Lawrence.
Oh.
I can't. I just cannot do it.
That is not fair. She doesn't ever have to know what her father was. Never, at any time.
Oh, God. I wish I had never brought her to you. Now everything is just getting so complicated.
Oh, honey. Honey, aren't you the one who's making it complicated?
Mom, please.
Are you crying because you feel guilty about rejecting your baby?
No, that is not it. I am in the middle of making arrangements. There is a wealthy couple. They're going to provide for her better than we ever could.
You're going to give up your own baby. How can you be so callous?
Oh, Mom, please, take her for 1 or 2 days. Just until I can make arrangements. Till I can speak with the lawyers and get all the details worked out.
No, I am not going to do it. I am going to leave this baby here. So you'll be forced to feed her and to change her and to love honey. Maybe this will bring out your maternal instincts.
There's no way that baby can be Allison's. Allison was never pregnant. Oh, no. Could that possibly be Jessica?
That would suggest the sort of trauma Nicky needs to materialize.
Even finding out that I had a grown son?
Well, you were in the room. You heard what she said. I even pushed a bit, but she seemed to take the news in stride, worrying more about you than anything else.
Yeah. So you're saying that you are pretty sure this theory should be dropped, but you can't be positive.
Exactly.
Oh, Tina, I do believe you. I even prefaced the question by saying I had to ask it. I'm very sorry.
I'm sorry I ever saw that woman. I'm sorry all this business even got started.
My theory at the moment is that some woman purposely dressed up to look like Nicky Smith in case someone saw her so that the suspicion would come on me.
But who would do that?
Obviously somebody living in this world.
Yeah, but nobody you know.
Oh, Tina. Oh, Tina, I couldn't deal with it if it was somebody I knew, somebody who would see our suffering and not respond to it. No, I think it has to be some stranger who just read about Nicky Smith and capitalized on it.
Yeah, but well, how would you find them?
I don't know, but they've got to be there someplace. They've got to be out there somewhere living with my baby, taking care of her.
I hope.
I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear to think that she wasn't well taken care of. I mean, for heaven's sakes, whoever this was went to an awful lot of trouble just to steal a baby, didn't she?
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. I mean, you offered all that reward money, right? I mean, obviously, she wants a baby more than the money.
So going on the assumption that this is somebody who is capable of love, who wants a baby to love so much that she went out to steal one, do you think maybe I could reach this person on an emotional level?
I don't know, you might, but first you'd have to find her.
Yes. Maybe I can get her to find me. Thank you for talking this through with me.
What is she going to do?
Please, Mom, you can't do this to me.
No. I am walking out that door. She's your responsibility.
But I have to work.
Well, take time off. Oh, honey, look, in time, you're going to forget that this is Mitch's baby. In time, it won't even matter anymore.
But it'll matter to a lot of people in this town.
Well, then move back to Jersey. The three of us can live there together.
No, I can't, Mom. Please just take her for now. I'll come on the weekend, and I'll spend all the time that you want.
No. She is yours. Now, I want you to start behaving as if she were.
Mom, please, you can't do this to me.
With you, Mom.
No, Mom, I can't
love
take
you.
care of her. Mother, you
I
can't
can't
leave me with
leave.
this child. I can't take care of her by myself. Mother!
What am I gonna do with you?
There, see? Grandma came back to get you. Oh, God. Mrs. Roberts,
Allison, isn't this baby Jessica Buchanan?
Now join One Life to Live, the program already in progress.
What Jamie may have told...
Everything! And don't deny it. I can't take another lie. Not another lie.
All right, I gave him the money. But I was just trying not to worry you. I thought I could take care of his mistakes myself.
We are as responsible as he is.
I know that. But I'm the one to blame, if anybody. I'm the one who always put career instead of family first. I was just trying to not involve you.
Too late now.
Yes, I know that. So you, say Jamie told you everything?
How he started buying cocaine, and I guess that's how he got involved with Vince Robeson.
Yes, that's what he told me. What else?
And that Jeannie Johnson saw him buying the cocaine, so she used that to blackmail him.
He told you that, did he?
I guess. We should believe him. After all, he was trying to protect us from scandal. But how he got involved in it and responded to that woman's demands...
Well, darling, what else could he do? I mean, under those circumstances...
He could have gone to the police and taken the consequences. Isn't that... That seems to be the Sanders problem, isn't it? They cannot face the music.
I am all for Jamie learning a good, solid lesson. But some lessons are too costly.
So we buy him out of it, right out of a tight corner. That's the way we want to bring our son up. That's how we're going to help him, make him an irresponsible man.
Do you think a prison term would make him a better man?
No, but it won't make Dan Wallach a better man, and he's completely innocent.
I am sorry about Dan Wallach. I really am. But, darling, you are a wonderful attorney, and I am very, very confident that you will get him acquitted and still not implicate our son.
I am so glad that you have so much confidence in me, but I don't think I can help Dan Wallach unless I find Jeannie Johnson.
Well, now, I'm using all of my contacts in Washington to try to find her for you.
I know. And I appreciate that. But I am Dan's lawyer, as you said. So I think I better deal with it. And I will find Jeannie Johnson somehow. And if the law comes down on Jamie, well, maybe it's better that way because our love didn't do anything. Maybe the law will.
Payson. Payson, find my son. Have him come in. I want to talk to him now.
The baby's safety comes first, of course, but it's possible.
What?
We have to find out when the servants won't be at home, and of course there'll have to be a time when Clint and Vicky are upstairs, but Allison, I think that we can find a way to do it. We can get the baby home and they won't know that you were the kidnapper.
Mrs. Roberts, would you do that for me? If you would, I would be so grateful to you.
Well, it's not for you, Allison.
Well, for whatever reason, I just want this whole thing to be over with. I'll do whatever you think is best.
All right, now, you'll have to wear this dress and this wig.
When I take the baby back?
Yes. But then everybody will know. They'll think, I don't want anyone to know that Nicky Smith took the baby in the first place. And that is what they'll think, isn't it?
Yes. And if that's your plan, Mrs. Roberts, I'm sorry, but I can't go along with it.
Yes, it damn sure does sound like Asa. I just wish I knew what the hell his motive was.
I told you, Clint, he probably just feels guilty for keeping us apart for all those years.
No, that doesn't sound like him. That part doesn't fit. Asa doesn't let himself feel remorse, at least not deep enough to get to his pocketbook. Now, this smells like a payoff.
You trying to tell me that maybe somebody put Asa up into deeding me all that property? Who would do something like that, Clint, and why?
Well, don't take offense, Cord, but it could have been Maria.
No way, Clint.
No, wait a
I'm sorry,
minute.
no.
I wouldn't blame her if it was. You know, she could have got the feeling that you had been mistreated all this time, that he had cheated you out of your real birthright and asked him to make up for it, and made him promise not to say anything to you about it.
Clint, if you think that way about my mom, you're crazy. She doesn't operate that way. First of all, she really hates Asa, and she sure as hell wouldn't want to be beholden to him for anything. And second of all, well, I think she's really come to terms with the fact that maybe that land really did come from my pa.
Well, if it wasn't your mother, I wouldn't have the vaguest idea who it was. Hell, maybe it was Al's bequest after all.
Maybe now you see why I need to check this out for myself.
Yeah, of course I do. You get your tail on the first plane out of here, get down to Texas, and settle this thing. If you're anything like me, you won't you won't rest easy until you do.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm something like you then. Thanks, Clint.
For what?
Well, for listening. Sometimes it's nice just to have a friendly ear to listen to you.
Yeah? Well, unless I miss my guess, you've done the same for me a couple times lately.
Now, you listen to me. If you hear word one about Jessica, you just holler, and I'm coming right back here.
You got your own troubles to deal with. And you take care of yourself down there, you hear?
Texas is going to be easy. It's telling Tina what I'm going to do down there that's going to be the problem.
That reminds me, I got a wife waiting for me at home. Come on, I'll walk out with you.
Great.
Hey, Dad. You and Mom had a nice talk, I hope?
Oh, yes, Jimmy. We had a very nice chat. You should have been there to hear it.
Well, I figured you two wanted to be by yourselves.
Let me update you. Better yet, let me enlighten you. I think, Jamie, that you are perhaps the most arrogant, deceitful, dishonest, poorest excuse for a son a man has ever had. Drugs, and you had to come to me to bail you out. You broke your word to me, son. This was supposed to be our secret.
Dad, she was on to me. I tried everything I could, but she didn't believe my story.
And I've tried everything I can to keep my marriage together, and you have destroyed it in one break.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to say. I had to tell her you helped me pay off Jeannie.
I think maybe your mother's right. I think it is time for you to start paying for your own actions.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that, son, is if you have to take a few hard knocks in order to grow up, so be it. I told you before, and I don't break my word, son. From now on, you're on your own, mister.
Dad, wait. You know something. She's going to go to the cops, isn't she?
You've got the big mouth. You ask her.
Dad, at least let me know what to expect.
The worst, son. She is going to try her very best to find Jeannie in Hawaii. And if Jeannie tells her the truth, the real truth, nothing's going to save your neck, least of all me.
is this the Maui Manor? Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of Jeannie Johnson. Thanks. Come on, Jeannie, you've got to be there. Hello, Jeannie, this is Jamie. Listen, there's been a change in plans. I want you to check out now. Don't argue with me. I want you off that island and out of Hawaii. Damn it, Jeannie, do as I tell you, or I swear you'll regret it.
So, this is Asa Buchanan, huh? The one and only. The great and the powerful.
Yes, this is Asa Buchanan, the good, the tired, the sick, the fed up. So long, Tina.
All right, if I can't get you to do it for me or for Cord, maybe I can get you to do it for your favorite charity. You.
I am not paying off that lawyer any way, anyhow, anymore. Now, get.
Oh, I see. You're going to just toss away your only chance for a reconciliation with Clint.
I have already lost Clint.
Temporarily. Now, you and Clint have had problems before, but you've always managed to patch them up. But not this time, Asa. Not if Cord goes down there and learns the worst.
If there's a chance to get back in Clint's good graces.
It's up to you, isn't it?
All right, all right. I'll pay off that damn lawyer. Have him falsified the deeds and the titles. Now, you go on home. You get back with your husband, make sure he doesn't head for El Paso.
I don't know if I can stop him.
I'm doing my bit, do yours. Keep in town. I don't care how you do it.
Listen to me and listen carefully. Do you want this baby returned?
Yes,
But do you want Vicky and Clint to know what you've done? And do you want the police to know what you've done?
No, I already told you.
All right, then
that.
follow my instructions. No arguments, all right? Is that understood?
Mrs. Roberts, I want to go along with your plan. Sneaking into Landfair, okay, it's going to be dangerous, but I'll do it. But dressing up like Nikki Smith...
Allison, that is the key part to the plan.
I don't know. I mean, Nikki Smith, she's like a nightmare to that family, and then they're going to think that she's back in their lives again.
They will get over it. Now, there will be some confusion, but it'll pass. Clint and Vicky are very strong people. Allison, this is the only way.
I still don't know.
Well, I do. Give me the key. Allison, the key to the terrace door.
Your voice down.
Now, I want you to stay in this room and take care of this child. I don't want anybody in here, and don't you dare leave until you hear from me. Is that clear?
Not really.
Well, it will be. The next time you hear from me, I'll have everything under control. I do know this, Allison. There is no turning back. Not now.
I see her. Thank you. Excuse me, Dorian. Hi. I know you have a show to do, but could I talk to you for a minute? It's very important.
Of course you can.
Thank you.
I believe you know my producer, Jim.
Yes, I...
Mrs. Buchanan, if you don't mind, I'd just like to say how sorry we are about what's happened to your daughter.
Thank you. That's sort of why I wanted to talk to you, Dorian. Would you mind if I interrupted just for a minute?
Of course. Well, go right ahead. I'll go see if I can't find the other kind of vet for next Tuesday's show, okay?
Vicky, please. Thank you. Won't you sit down? Tell me what this is all about.
Dorian, could you do me a big favor, please? Could you put me on your show today? Look, everything else that we have tried has failed. I want to try a direct appeal to the kidnapper to return Jessica. Please, it is my last chance.
Vicky, I'll do anything that I can to help you. But given your emotional state, do you think it's a good idea for you to go on the air?
Oh, Jessica, where is she? She said that we should just stay here, and then she'd come back and get us. But she's been gone hours. How long does she expect me to stay in this room before somebody starts wondering where I am? I mean, she's acting as if she... Oh, you don't think she forgot about us, did she? Oh, Jessie, what am I gonna do? Honey, oh, baby.
Oh, Tom, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, Maria, come in.
Thanks.
Oh, what is it?
I went by the main house to see Clint and Vicky, but they're not home. Have they heard something about the baby?
Oh, I wish they had.
And I wish that I could be more comforting to them.
Well, you can get Clint on the phone. He's down at the Banner waiting for a response to the column he wrote this morning for the morning edition. Well, that, along with what Vicky is doing, hopefully will bring the kidnapper out.
Well, what is Vicky doing?
Oh, she went to WVLE to make a personal appeal on Dorian Schill.
Then I can pick up the tickets at the gate. Perfect. Thanks a lot. Bye.
So you're really going to go to El Paso, huh? Doesn't matter what your mother or I thinks, huh?
Tina, I'm going to find out if that land belonged to my pa or Asa Buchanan by the time this day is over.
All right, I won't try to talk you out of it.
Good.
Yeah, it's clear you've made up your mind. You're going to go to El Paso no matter what your mother or I says.
That's right.
Yep. But you know what? I think last night was our lucky night. You know, I really think that last night was the night that we conceived our baby.
And how can you tell?
Honey, a woman knows these things. I can feel it. That's why. And besides, you see this book right here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, see, it says right here. Come here, look. It says right here that I am at my peak fertility cycle. Yeah, it says that I am, fecund.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, so I think that maybe, you know, we ought to take advantage of my, you know, fecundity. Like, and, well, you know, in case it didn't take last night or it might not take tomorrow night.
Well, I'd like to take advantage of your fecundity too, Tina, but it's going to have to wait till I get back from El Paso.
But it might be too late then.
For what?
For my fecundity, for my peak fertility cycle.
Well, we're just going to have to wait till you peak again, girl.
But, Cord,
Whoop.
Oh, all right, okay. All right, I'm not going to try to talk you out of it, but I don't know that Clint is going to be as understanding as I am.
Tina, I've already talked to him about this, all right? He doesn't have a problem with it. In fact, he agreed with me. He thought I should go to El Paso and take care of things.
Well, he's not going to stand in your way, no matter what his real feelings are.
Look, I know how he feels about Jessica now, all right? But come on, he approves of this, Tina. I know he wants his family near him, and I'll be there.
What, so he doesn't want his only son near him, too?
Tina, I told him that if there's anything he needs, he just calls and I'll be there. It'll be no problem. He understands. Why can't you?
Wait, because I know something that Clint doesn't. Like maybe Vicky expressed to me her deepest fears about this whole thing. Now, if you don't believe me, then ask Vicky if she told me.
What did she say?
She said that she's afraid that somebody is deliberately trying to make it look like Nicky Smith took the baby.
Now, Clint never mentioned any of this to me.
No, Vicky's scared. She only confided that in me.
Well, if she's right, whoever took the baby could be out to hurt Vicky, too. No wonder she's so scared.
Oh, my gosh, I never thought of that. Well, Cord, now you can't possibly go.
Dorian, Clint has done everything he possibly can do to help find Jessica. He's written columns for the paper. He's called the authorities I don't know how many times. And it's all been for nothing. And I just can't let him go on doing it all by himself. It's time I did something now.
Vicky, I understand. Cassie was stolen from me once, and I would have moved heaven and earth to get her back if I could have. But, you see, going before the camera, it could cause much more pain than it's worth for what you would accomplish.
I would cut my heart out if I could get my baby back, Dorian. Look, I have to try to reach the kidnapper. I have to try at any rate. You see, there's been no ransom demand, so I can only assume that whoever took Jessica is some very miserable, lonely person who desperately wanted a child. And maybe if I can get her to feel what it's like to lose a child. I honestly don't know what else to do. You're the only one I can turn to now, please.
Vicky, I will do anything that I can to help you.
Will you let me go on your show?
Of course I will.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Thank you.
So my other daughters.
Jim! Audrey! Of course, if you get Jim up front, I'll go.
We wouldn't be able to work it up into script form, and there won't be anything on the teleprompter for you.
It's all right. I don't know what I'm going to say until I actually say it.
I'm sure whatever you do, it'll be wonderful. Will you excuse me for just a few minutes?
Jim!
Jimmy, I need you.
Please don't tell me what this is going to do to our schedule or what's going to do to the ratings, all right? We're going to devote the entire show to the Buchanan baby's kidnapping.
Dorian, we have an entire hour to fill.
We will fill it, Jim. We'll get the police commissioner on a special hookup. We'll make this show about the missing children.
Wait. You know, there's an organization that's been pressing me to have one of their spokesmen come on the show and talk about missing children. Now, maybe if I can give them a call right now, I can bring somebody in right now into the show.
Of course, and we'll be able to fill an hour. Come on, that's the spirit.
Great.
All right, we all put together on this. We're going to be able to do it, I promise you. Besides which, it's an issue I think we can... Hi, Diana. Would you just give me a few minutes,
No, that's okay.
please?
Listen, I'll have to go up to the control booth right now anyway, and I'll tell the guys what's going on here, all right?
And the good doctor. Apologize to him. Tell him I'll take him to lunch. Make up for him. Hello.
I guess I picked a rotten time to come watch
No, you picked a perfect time, as a matter of fact. I am in the middle of a crisis, and I'm short-handed. I could use your help.
Great.
Yes. Go, get to the switchboard, please, and tell them that all calls to the studio to the station will be put straight through to this studio. All right?
Yeah, but don't you think that you should contact the police about this?
Well, there's no time to get in touch with the police. We are about to go on the air. Find Audrey. She'll show you where the switchboard room is. Get cracking. All right?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Sydney, please, would you lower the boom? Jim, how are we doing up there?
How do you think we're doing? We're in a panic.
Business as usual. Can we do it?
We'll find out soon enough. 4 minutes to air.
Thank you.
Oh, Dorian, what about a telephone number or someplace that people can call if they do know?
I've already taken care of it. The calls are going to come directly on the floor to the studio. We're going to be flashing a telephone number right on the screen for people to call. Come on.
Thank you. You think of everything, don't you?
I'm trying.
What if I break down? What if I can't go on?
You're not going to do that. You're not. I'm sure of it. Come on.
Nervous? Why should I be nervous? I mean, everything's cool. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. For the longest time, I kept thinking it'd be like a dream, you know? I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up, and then it would be all over, like it never happened.
I wish the same thing, Dan. And don't worry, we're going to get through this thing together.
Just think of all the times I disappointed you, and now I'm facing a murder trial.
A murder which you did not commit. I know that. And the jury's going to know that. What's the matter? You doubt your old man's word?
It's not that. I'd feel a little more confident if I knew Allison was on my side, too.
I thought she was. What? Something happened to change that?
Dad, I don't know what happened.
Dr. Wollick to administration.
Don't worry about that. What happened with Allison?
I wish I knew. I haven't seen her since the day before yesterday, and every time I try and call, either she's not there or the phone's busy.
Dan, she's got to be there. This is important. She's got to be... She's your most important witness.
She knows that. She's going to be there. I mean, she's the only one who can prove my whereabouts before Susan Bates was killed.
So what the hell's she pulling?
Dad, I mean, it can't be that serious. I mean, maybe she's busy or something.
Busy? She hasn't been arrested. Dan, this is too important to just take a chance. Now, she's got to be in that courtroom tomorrow.
She will be, I think.
That's no good, and you know it, Danny. This is your life we're talking about.
You're right. I'm going to try at her room. There's got to be some reason why she's not returning my calls.
All right, you call. Use the phone here.
Okay.
Let me know what happened.
I will.
Oh, Jessie, I know you're hungry. Oh, but I don't have anything to feed you. We're almost out of formula. Oh, God, what am I gonna do? Sweetness.
Sooner I can come back here and help out Clint and Vicky.
Yeah, well, who have they got here to depend on then?
What about you? I mean, you're Vicky's sister, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm her sister, but what if Vicky's right? And what if this kidnapper is going to hurt Vicky or Clint or those two sweet, innocent little boys, huh? I mean, I can't take care of them. Who's going to defend them? You could.
Tina, then we're talking about some kind of psychopath, and then the cops are going to have to handle it because that's what they do.
But you'd call it a bunch of strangers?
They're experts, Tina. I'm sure Clint would agree with that, too. Look, now, Clint wants me to go to Texas to take care of this.
You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, why he wouldn't want his only son to be there in his hour of need.
Look, sit down for a minute. I didn't want to tell you this before because I didn't want to worry you, but maybe there's something you should know about.
Know what?
Well, look, I was talking to Clint earlier and going through some of the ideas I had about why Asa would want to will me that property. Clint suggested that it could be because it was some kind of payoff.
A payoff?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite an accusation, honey. Does Clint have any ideas to who Asa might be paying off?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, at first he thought it was my ma.
You don't say.
Yeah, I told him he was crazy. I said, that's not the way my ma operates. She hates Asa so much she wouldn't take a dime from that man, whatever the reason was.
Oh, you're right, honey. I agree with you. She never would. And I think Clint is all wrong. You know, Asa Buchanan is just too powerful of a man. I mean, why would he be paying off somebody to give you some land?
Right,
you know?
that's what we couldn't figure out. That is why I need to go to El Paso, all right?
Court, honey, wait.
Tina, please, I need to do all my packing before the show comes on now.
What show?
View on Landview. Vicky's gonna make that appeal to try to find Jessica.
Oh, honey, Vicky isn't the only desperate person around here. Just hold me, okay?
What is it now?
Honey,
What?
honey, listen to me now. If you're not going to do this for Clint, or you're not going to do it for Vicky, honey, please do this for me. Please don't leave me alone right now.
View on Landview's on about now, isn't it?
Tom, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, what question was that?
Well, you said that if it had been up to you, you wouldn't have let Vicky go through with the hypnosis.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Vicky and Clint are the happiest couple I've ever known. If they agree to put her through this ordeal, then who am I to second-guess them?
Well, you're somebody who cares about them, and so do I. That's why I wonder what you would have done if you had been in Clint's place.
I would have listened to Vicky. She's no fool. She knows the circumstantial evidence points towards Nicky Smith.
Well, isn't that what Clint tried to do, get her to accept the evidence? It pained him to have to admit that, too, you know.
Let's suppose for a minute there's a more logical explanation. What if the kidnapper was smart enough to plant evidence to make it look like Nicky Smith was involved?
Well...
Yeah, well, that's as logical a theory as Clint's, isn't it? So I would pursue that area or any other area before I'd subject Vicky to this hypnosis business, all right?
Yeah, yes, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, we're talking hypothetically, so let's drop it and watch the television show.
All of you that tuned in to see Dr. Gilbert will understand, as he did, why we have had to reschedule his show. Instead today, my show will be about a tragedy that has befallen our country, one of the worst in many, many years, and that is the plight of our missing children.
I just hope she gets through this in one piece.
We have all of us been touched by this tragedy of national proportions. In fact, right here in Landview, the child of Victoria and Clint Buchanan was kidnapped right from her home. And thus far, there had been no clues whatsoever to the whereabouts.
I hate the thought of Vicky having to go through this alone.
Well, you said Clint's at the office. Poor Vicky, I guess she's just going to have
Victoria
to.
Buchanan has asked to come on the show today. She wants to appeal directly to you and ask for your help.
Hell, I'm going down there.
But, Tom, she's just coming on right now.
Yeah, well, you watch it for both of us. I don't want her
Victoria
being in that
Buchanan
show with nobody there to see
needs
her.
no introduction, so Vicky, will you please thank you. Please sit down. Thank you. Vicky, you've told me that you want to speak to our audience straight from your heart.
That's right.
And I'm sure that the audience will listen in the same spirit. We are going to have to break for a brief message, but when we come back, the audience, my show, will be completely yours.
Allison must think I've disappeared. But I've got to watch the show.
Damn it, Maria, where are you? The baby's asleep now, but she's gonna want some more food soon, and I don't have any. If she doesn't come back soon, I'm gonna take the baby back to Landfair. I'm gonna leave her in a bassinet on the doorstep, and then I'll just ring the doorbell and, oh, thank God. Who is it?
Allison, it's me.
Dan?
Yeah, Allison, come on, open up. I need to talk to you. Allison, did you hear me? Come on, open up.
Keep your voice down.
What's the matter? You sick or something?
No.
Well, then what's wrong? Why can't I come in?
No, listen, I'll come out to you. Just keep your voice down, okay?
What's going on in there?
Nothing's going on.
Why are you practically whispering? And why is it that every time I call you, your phone is busy?
My line is broken. The man at the desk said that he was going to fix it, but he hasn't come up yet.
Allison, I haven't seen you for a day and a half. Now, at first I thought you were trying to avoid me.
Oh, no, don't be silly.
I said it first. And then I called the hospital, and Lisa said you called in sick. And now that's when I really started to worry.
Oh, no, I'm fine, really.
Yeah, you look fine. So what's really going on here?
Just keep your
Look,
voice
Allison,
down.
don't shush me. Tell me why you're pretending to be sick. Is it because you don't want to appear at my trial tomorrow?
No, of course
You're getting
not.
cold feet. Is that it?
No.
You think I really killed Susan Bates?
No.
Well, then what is it? Why are you holed up here in your room like this?
Dan, listen, why can't you just accept that I have my reasons, okay? I don't ask you why you're coming here to check up on me.
Listen, in case you forgot, I go on trial for murder tomorrow.
I know.
I thought you cared about that.
I do care.
Not as much as you care about keeping your little secrets, though, huh? Well, I'm gonna find out what you have hiding
No,
in there.
Danny, just here. Listen, I'll tell you. It's my mother.
Your mother.
Yeah, she's in pretty bad shape. It's not a pretty sight.
What are you trying to tell me, Allison? Is your mother ill?
Well, no, not physically. Listen, Danny, I don't want to talk about it right now, okay?
Would you rather I went in there and discussed it with her?
No, okay, she's been very depressed lately. She divorced my father, you know. He divorced her, and, well, she never really got over it. She's just having a hard time accepting that my father has a new life now, and, well, she started drinking.
So your mom's in there drunk?
Well, she's not drunk now. She's passed out.
Allison, why didn't you just tell me this before?
Oh, Dan, you've got so many worries of your own. I didn't want to bother you.
So you've been with her the past few days?
Yeah, I've been taking care of her. I just, you know, I'm always afraid she's gonna wake up and try and sneak the bottle when I'm not looking.
You worried that she's in there drinking again?
No, we've run out of booze. Finally, I'm just afraid she's gonna scream and she's gonna want her bottle. I don't want you to see her like this.
Look, Allison, I can't leave you here all by yourself.
No, I can handle it.
Come on, Allison, let me help out, okay?
No, I can take care of her. I'll give her some coffee, and I'll sober her up, and then I'll drive her home. I'll be at the courthouse tomorrow. I promise you.
Okay. But if you can, give me a call before that, all right?
Well, listen, I'll try, but I think I'm going to have my hands pretty full. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have made any number of speeches in my life, and I've never really had any trouble with words. But unfortunately, right now, I can't think of a single clever thing to say. All I can think about is my baby. Her name is Jessica Ann, and she is the most beautiful and the gentlest creature that God ever put on this earth. And my husband and I, we love her very dearly. She's only been a member of our family for a very short while, but we miss her very much.
You don't know, Vicky.
Dorian, what are we going to do?
Nothing, Jim.
I had so many things that I wanted to say, and now, when the time comes to say them... Jessica, my little one, if you can hear my voice, I love you, my angel. And you, whoever you are, the person who has my baby,
if you can hear my voice, I have something I'd like to say to you. And it's not being said out of anger or rage, but rather it comes from someone who loves the child that you've taken as your own.